I asked you to go on a blind date, not to become a top-tier billionaire. Chapter 1. Late at night, in bed. Phone, my mom said the bride price must be 400,000. Shuziki nestled into Chi Feng's arms, speaking softly. Chi Feng's originally warm expression froze for a moment. Didn't we agree that 200,000 would be enough? Why has it suddenly doubled? My mom said it wasn't easy raising me, and 200,000 isn't enough to show your determination and sincerity. You will agree, right? Shuziki looked up at Chi Feng, her eyes full of expectation. Ziki, this isn't a matter of whether I agree or not, you know the situation in my family. I really can't come up with 200,000. Chi Feng's face showed a bitter expression. His family was just an ordinary one. His parents were from the countryside, and aside from their life savings, he had borrowed quite a bit of money to scrape together the funds needed for the wedding. He had borrowed from all his friends and relatives, and had even borrowed from banks and loan apps. The only thing left was high-interest loans. Now, suddenly asking for another 200,000, where was he supposed to get that money from? But my mom said, if there's no 400,000 dowry, she won't agree to our marriage. Phone, you don't want to break up with me, do you? I believe you can find a way. Shuziki's voice deliberately became weak, with a pitiful tone. Chi Feng furrowed his brows, remaining silent. He truly didn't have that much money left. If their house and car were mortgaged, it wouldn't be so bad, but Shuziki's family insisted on paying in full and putting the house under Shuziki's name. He couldn't scrape together a single cent anymore. A few days later. In a private room at a restaurant. Chi Feng's parents looked extremely conflicted. Mother-in-law, 400,000 is really too much. Our family can't afford that much. Could it be a little less? Chi Feng's father said humbly. He was from the countryside, dressed in dark, plain clothes that looked old-fashioned. The Shu family was from the city, wearing shiny, trendy clothes. This gap in social status made him feel a bit inferior. That's not possible. She's my only daughter. I raised her with great difficulty, not a single cent can be less. Shu's mother crossed her arms, her stance one of fierce negotiation. But, mother-in-law, we've already paid for the house and the car, Chi Feng's mother said, also troubled. Well, that's what you're supposed to pay for. You've only covered the house and the car. I'm giving you my daughter. And besides, my daughter is so beautiful, don't you think she's worth 400,000? Shu's mother's words left Chi Feng's parents speechless. They turned to look at their future daughter-in-law, who had been silent until now. Shuziki was sweet-looking and liked to dress up, exuding a stylish aura. She was the type of person people would immediately like upon meeting. Creak. The door to the private room opened. Sorry, I'm late because of work. Chi Feng's figure appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Xiao Feng is here. Sit down. Shu's mother smiled widely, standing up and pulling him to sit next to his fiancée, Shuziki. Chi Feng quickly noticed that his parents' faces weren't looking good, their eyes filled with struggle. What have you talked about so far? Chi Feng softly asked his parents. Xiao Feng, the bride price really can't be less than 400,000. In our area, it's usually more than 500,000. Before his parents could speak, Shu's mother answered with a smile. Chi Feng's brow instinctively furrowed, but considering his fiancée and future in-law's feelings, he forced a faint smile and said, Auntie, is 400,000 a bit too much? The house and car were all paid for by our side. Could it be a little less? Xiao Feng, what's too much? Do you mean to say that your love for Ziki isn't worth even 400,000? Shu's mother's smile faded slightly. Chi Feng didn't answer. Instead, he turned to look at Shuziki. She knew his situation. And the night before, they had agreed. If the bride price was reduced from 400,000 to 300,000, he would agree. Shuziki noticed Chi Feng's gaze and lowered her head, avoiding his eyes. This made Chi Feng's heart sink. Before he could say anything, Shu's mother's voice rang out again. Xiao Feng, we're not greedy for your money. The house and car are yours as a couple. Once married, both names will be on the deed. The bride price is just to secure your future life together, and it will be kept here with me. When you need it, you can come and take it. Chi Feng's brow furrowed deeply. He didn't believe Shu's mother's words. If the money was given, it would probably never come back. Because Shuziki had a younger brother. His full name was Shu Chen, and after graduating from college, he had been jobless, living off his parents. This extra 200,000 was probably for him. But Shuziki was his girlfriend since university, and he wanted a happy and fulfilling marriage with her. Auntie, if the 400,000 dowry is paid into our joint account, I can find a way to make up the amount. But if it's paid into your account, I'm worried it will end up being used for Xiao Chen. Chi Feng spoke frankly. These past few days, he had found a way to borrow 200,000, but the cost was high. Shu's mother's smile froze for a moment, as Chi Feng had guessed correctly. The extra 200,000 was meant to buy a car for her son. Xiao Feng, soon we'll all be family. Xiao Chen will be your brother-in-law. Why should there be any distinction between you and us? Don't worry, we one team misuse the money. No, auntie. If you don't agree, I can only give you 200,000 for the bride price. Chi Feng was firm. He didn't believe that they would really give up on the marriage for just 200,000. Ha! Feng, didn't you say 300,000? Shuziki raised her head, surprised as she looked at Chi Feng. I couldn't get the money, so it's only 200,000. Do you still want to marry me? Chi Feng felt a sense of disappointment. She had just lowered her head when he asked for her help, but now that he said he could only offer 200,000, she immediately questioned him. But you promised you would get the money. Shuziki said, somewhat flustered. Shu's mother's expression darkened. Ziki, is this the man you call a good, capable man? He doesn't even have 400,000 for the bride price. What kind of marriage is that? A man like this will only make you suffer. Shu's father, who had been silent until now, spoke up in a sarcastic tone. I told you from the start this man wasn't reliable. Everyone else gets millions for the bride price, villas, and luxury cars. But with him, he won't even give 400,000. Is this real love? We don't need this marriage. Ziki, let us go. Chi Feng clenched his fists tightly. To get married, his family had almost given everything they had. His parents had sold the pigs they raised and some of their family heirlooms. But now, they were really going to call off their wedding because of the bride price. Just then, an icy voice suddenly echoed in his mind. Ding! Conditions for system binding met, binding in progress. Shuziki has been successfully bound to their wish exchange system. As long as the system-designated female target must have a comprehensive score above 80 has emotional fluctuations towards the host, emotional points will be generated. Note, their host can use sufficient emotional points to fulfill the target's requests. Newbie perk, Shuziki's comprehensive score is 70, but it's still enough to meet the system's requirements. Bride price of 400,000, required emotional points, 4,000. Shuziki has generated 3,500 emotional points. Chapter 2, This marriage, Chi Feng, won't marry. Chi Feng's pupils suddenly dilated. As a dropout of the 9-year compulsory education system, he quickly realized what had just happened. This was it, the big guy had arrived. He thought about the system description for a moment, and then quickly understood. It meant that if Shuziki had a demand from him, he could use the emotional value that Shuziki produced to exchange it for reality. So, if Shuziki wanted a 400,000 renminbi dowry, he just needed to make sure her emotional value reached 4,000 points and he could get the 400,000. Note, emotional value is not fixed to one particular emotion. As long as the other person experiences an emotional fluctuation, it will count. The system's voice sounded again, confirming that everything was not an illusion. Ziki, I'll ask you one last time, the house and car can both have your name on them, but the dowry will only be 200,000. Do you still want to marry me? Chi Feng took a deep breath. After all, they had been in a relationship for so long and were about to talk about marriage. He still held onto a shred of hope. He hoped that Shuziki could understand his difficulties, as he really could not afford that much money anymore. Shuziki's eyes flashed with hesitation, but she recalled what her parents had said to her when she left home today. Women should ask for a hefty dowry. Marriage is a business deal. If you don't ask for more money now, your husband won't treat you well after marriage. The dowry is your security. Yes, your mom is right. You're young and beautiful. Look at all those women on the internet, on Weibo or Little Red Book, who doesn't ask for $1 million in dowry? 40,000 is nothing, and if he loves you, he'll give it to you. Her parents' words shattered the agreement she had made with Chi Fong last night that 300,000 would be enough. That's right. I'm so beautiful and young. I'm willing to give up my precious youth to marry you. What's wrong with asking for some dowry? Just 400,000. It's not like I'm asking for the stars in the sky. Her resolve hardened. Just 400,000, Chi Fong. Not a cent less. If you don't give it, it means you don't love me. And as a city girl marrying into your rural family, have I complained? That 400,000, even if it's for my brother, is something my Shu family deserves. Shuziki lifted her chin, her face full of pride. Chi Fong leaned back slightly, feeling like he couldn't breathe. He never imagined that his longtime girlfriend would be such a person. He had been feeding her, taking care of her, and now she looked down on him. Chi Fong, why don't we talk this through properly? Chi Fong's father pulled him gently, not wanting his son's wedding to turn into a farce. HMPH. You're good at making threats, but not at coming up with 400,000. What a useless man. My daughter will only suffer marrying you. Shu's mother sneered again. Don't worry, Dad. I'll handle it, Chi Fong said firmly, his brow furrowing. But now, he finally understood. Even if he married Shuziki, life would be full of conflicts. He had already seen through her true nature through the dowry situation. When they were in a relationship, she was a bit temperamental, which was fine. But now, on this important matter, she had no sense of proportion. And she even looked down on his rural background. That's it. This marriage. Chi Fong. 1T marry. Ding. Emotional value plus 50. Shuziki's arrogant attitude just now gave him 50 points of emotional value, and now he only needed 450 more points. Shuziki, you're really arrogant. Chi Fong's eyes turned cold, and Shuziki felt a strange unease in her heart. Chi Fong, what do you mean? You don't think I'm actually going to marry you, do you? Chi Fong sneered. I'm not marrying today. Emotional value plus 100. Emotional value plus 100. Shuziki looked at Chi Fong in disbelief. How could he say such things? She panicked, really panicked. Chi Fong, you're joking, right? Although she wanted the dowry, she never thought Chi Fong would actually leave her. I'm not joking. I've made up my mind. You know me. Once I make a decision, I won't easily change it. Just like I said I would marry you, even if I had no money, I would find a way to gather it. But now, I've seen through you, and I've seen through your family. You're just a bunch of shameless vampires. From now on, I'm cutting ties with you and your Shu family. Chi Fong's voice was like a bell ringing, echoing through the room. Emotional value plus 150. Emotional value plus 200. Emotional value plus 300. Emotional value plus 250. With every word he spoke, the system's voice echoed in his mind. His emotional value had now reached 4,650 points. He immediately exchanged the points, but not for the dowry. He was in urgent need of money. Since he wasn't getting married anymore, he had to pay back the money he borrowed, and the interest alone was enough to eat him alive. Congratulations, host, exchange successful, 400,000 renminbi has been deposited into your bank account. Remaining emotional value, 650 points. Note, all rewards from the system are clean and won't cause any trouble. Chi Fong's phone vibrated. He knew the money had arrived. He immediately turned his gaze to Shuziki. This woman should still be useful. Chi Fong, that's not it. You misunderstood. I just wanted your attitude. Shuziki panicked and said quickly. Shu's father and mother were also a bit stunned. They never expected Chi Fong would dare to tear off his mask. Attitude? Isn't my attitude enough? I promised to put your name on a house and car. I've always obeyed your wishes, bought you designer clothes, bags, jewelry, everything you wanted. I even borrowed money everywhere to marry you. What more attitude do you want? Get out. I've given up on you. You have no ability, yet you want to live a high-quality life. You're nothing but a shameless, lazy gold digger. Emotional value plus 400. Emotional value plus 500. Emotional value plus 1000. Just as Chi Fong was surprised by the rapid accumulation of emotional value. R. Shuziki screamed, her face contorting in fury. It turned out that her emotions had completely collapsed. Chi Feng could understand. Shuziki had always lived in an environment where she was pampered. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Chi Feng, go die. You'll never marry me. That's why you're jealous of me. How dare you say such things about me? I'm so beautiful. Why should I work? It's clearly your fault for not being capable. Those few cheap bags you bought me, they only cost a few thousand. I won't even look at them. Men without ability don't deserve to get married. You're just a useless piece of trash. Chapter 3, Can't spend it all, it's just impossible. Shuziki's roar stunned everyone in the room except Chi Feng. No one had ever seen her like this before. Emotional value plus 800. Emotional value plus 500. Emotional value plus 400. Chi Feng, however, calmly watched, secretly delighted. This was like a machine producing emotional value. But the emotional value was decreasing rapidly. It seemed that her emotions were starting to stabilize. That couldn't happen. Chi Feng refused to let it happen. He showed Shuziki the balance on his phone. I've managed to gather their 400,000. It was just a test, but you immediately showed your true colors. Not only are you shamelessly asking for money, now you're acting like a shrew. Do you really think the world revolves around you? Then what abilities do you have? No education, no job, no savings, no special skills, no friends, a bad temper, you can't cook or clean, and without makeup, you're just an average-looking person. You use beauty filters all the time and think you're a goddess. You have no redeeming qualities at all. You're the real worthless one. Emotional value plus 1,000. Emotional value plus 1,200. Emotional value plus 1,000. Emotional value plus 1,500. Boom. Chi Feng's words exploded in Shuziki's mind like a bomb. She felt like she was about to explode. Every word Chi Feng spoke hit her where it hurt the most. I'll kill you. Shuziki screamed as she lunged at Chi Feng with her manicured hands, but he easily dodged her attack. What's the matter? Can't take it? I haven't even mentioned your stinky feet, thick thighs, or how scary your pores are. Emotional value plus 1,300. Emotional value plus 1,000. Emotional value plus 1,100. Chi Feng, I swear we're enemies for life. If there's you, there's no me. If there's me, there's no you. Shuziki was really about to go crazy, her eyes bloodshot as she tried to fight Chi Feng. Chi Feng, of course, wasn't he going to let her claws catch him? He quickly grabbed both of Shuziki's hands, twisted them behind her, and forced her down onto the table, pinning her there. He had learned a few tricks in university, and Shuziki, who had been spoiled all her life, was no match for him. Chi Feng, let go of me. She's your fiancée. What's the point of fighting? Can't you talk it out? Shuziki's mother, upon hearing that Chi Feng had gathered the 400,000, immediately changed her attitude, thinking about getting the money first. Shut up. Like mother, like daughter. I've helped you people countless times in Shanghai City, yet you show me no respect. You've been demanding ridiculous amounts from us, and the dowry is just 3 bedsheets. I've never seen such a stingy, shameless family in my life. You all are just leeches. While pinning Shuziki down, Chi Feng kept cursing at them. He had been tolerating this for a long time. Shuziki's parents' faces turned ashen. Chi Feng felt sorry. If only Shu's mother could produce emotional value. It would probably be quite a bit. Chi Feng, let me go. You'll never marry me, not in 1,000 years. Shuziki, pressed on the table, was humiliated and furious. How dare Chi Feng treat her like this? She was going to make him regret it for the rest of his life. Emotional value plus 1,000. Emotional value plus 800. Emotional value plus 700. Chi Feng listened to the system's voice in his mind and knew Shuziki's emotional peak had passed. Now, she was just spouting threats. Then I truly thank you. This is exactly what I want. Let us never meet again in this lifetime. Mom and Dad, let us go. Chi Feng released Shuziki, ready to leave. No, Chi Feng, you can't leave. Shuziki refused to let him go. But Chi Feng turned back and glared at her. His gaze was like that of a wolf, and Shuziki was immediately frightened into silence. Emotional value plus 200. Emotional value plus 100. Emotional value plus 50. It seemed like the woman was completely drained. Chi Feng withdrew his gaze, took his parents by the hand, and walked out of the room without looking back, leaving the Shu family with darkened faces. On the taxi ride back to their hotel, Chi Feng sat in the passenger seat, seemingly resting with his eyes closed, but actually communicating with the system. System, how much emotional value do I have left? Remaining emotional value, 15,300 points. 15,300 points. Chi Feng raised an eyebrow. 4,000 emotional points could exchange for 400,000 renminbi. So these emotional points were equivalent to 1.5 million renminbi. He was officially a millionaire. There was no way to spend it all. But for now, there were no exchange requirements. What should he do? System, how do I find a woman with a rating of 80 points? Use your eyes to find her. Chi Feng. So, what is the scoring standard? Including but not limited to appearance, personality, character, intelligence, knowledge. When you meet a woman with an 80-point rating, the system will notify you. That was easy to understand. It meant any woman who was excellent would qualify. But how to get such a woman to make demands on him? Blind dates. That was an option. He could check out some dating sites. Son, it's all our fault. We couldn't come up with that much money. Chi Feng's father, Chi Jungwo, suddenly interrupted his thoughts. He knew how long his son and Shuziki had been together, and it wasn't easy for them. Now, their wedding was about to happen, only for it all to fall apart over money. Chi Feng looked back at his parents, seeing the guilt on their faces. He smiled faintly. Dad, Mom, you've done a great job raising me. It's my own fault for meeting the wrong person. Don't take it to heart. Even if we had gotten married, it would have ended in divorce soon anyway. Now, I just want to make money and improve our lives. Dad, Mom, didn't you want to build a new house in our hometown? Once I pay off the debts, we can use the remaining money to build the house. The plan was to negotiate the bride price, get engaged, and then buy a house and car. But now, since everything had fallen apart, there was no need for that. Once the debts were cleared, there would be about 300,000 left. Plus, the 400,000 he just exchanged, that should be enough to build a very good house in his hometown. Chi Feng wasn't sad. Perhaps, after dealing with Shuziki's repeated irrationality and temper tantrums, his feelings had already been depleted. He only felt disappointed, but he was glad to have seen Shuziki's true colors. Son, but you've been with Ziki for so long. Chi Feng's mother, Cao Hong, still looked a bit worried. Mom, don't worry. I'm fine. In a few days, I'll go on a blind date. There are so many women in this world. I don't believe I can't find a good one. Chi Feng smiled and shook his head, comforting them. Chi Jungwo and Cao Hong exchanged a look, unsure whether they didn't want to bring up their son's hurt feelings or if they truly believed in him, and they didn't mention it again. Son, as for the money, your mom and I don't need it. You keep it. It's too expensive to get married these days, and your mom and I don't have much time left. There's no need to build a new house. Chi Jungwo had really come to realize how much weddings cost after this ordeal. When he married, he didn't need all these things. A matchmaker introduced them, they liked each other, and a few things were discussed for the marriage, and that was it. No, Dad, Mom, the house must be built. Rather than wasting money on a woman like Shuziki, it's better to improve our own lives. Chi Feng said seriously. Chapter 4, People leave and tea gets cold. The green tea girl is desperate. After persuading his parents to build a house, he let his parents rest in the hotel. Chi Feng started to get busy and paid back all the money he had to pay back first. He borrowed almost 1.1 million yuan, and the interest cost him almost 50,000 yuan in the end. And he had 680,000 yuan left in the end, including the 400,000 yuan he exchanged. 2 years after graduation, because of Shuziki's high consumption, he actually didn't save much money at all. Not even 100,000 yuan. And his parents are farmers, raising him to this age, and still have more than 200,000 yuan in savings, which is not easy. So in addition to the 400,000 yuan exchanged by the system, he sent all 280,000 yuan back to his parents. In the evening, Chi Feng returned to the rental house. Shuziki didn't come back. She was probably still at her parents' house. It was good that way, so it would be convenient for him to pack up. Chi Feng looked at the traces of his life with Shuziki, and he still felt a little touched, but he was kicked out by him soon. This incident made Chi Feng more mature. He originally believed that love could overcome everything, but in the end he found himself to be a joke. Of course, he also knew that there was pure love in the world. But most people can't find it at all. It's already very difficult to find someone who tolerates each other to live with. Chi Feng didn't have much stuff. The rental house was all Shuziki's stuff, and he packed it up quickly. Because he was preparing to get married, the rent was renewed until the end of this month, and he was too lazy to ask the landlord for the remaining rent. Pulling the suitcase, in addition to his own things, there were also several bags and luxury necklaces he gave to Shuziki. This woman was no longer worthy of his gifts. Pop! The door closed. Without any hesitation, he left directly. He was going to start a new life. In a house in a certain community. The Shu family sat on the sofa, and everyone looked unhappy. Why are you so useless? You can't even get the betrothal gift. What should I do with my car? I've made an appointment to go on a self-driving tour. A young man, hugging his arms, scolded his parents, with a look of disgust on his face. Chi's mother looked embarrassed, and then looked at her daughter who was sitting on the sofa with her head tilted. Chi, don't be angry, Chi Feng must be just angry for a while, wait until he calms down tomorrow, you go to him, he will definitely change his mind. Mom, you have no shame, I still have face. Shu Ziqi frowned and said. Just now, their family had a quarrel, that is, whether to take a step back and go to Chi Feng to make peace. Shu Ziqi didn't want to, but her parents kept persuading her. No, what's the use of having face, how much money do you have now, how can you live without Chi Feng? Don't think of us supporting you, our family's money has been used up to buy a house for your brother. You know in your heart that Chi Feng's words scolding you are all right, so you are so angry, think about it yourself, how are you going to live without Chi Feng? Shu's mother's face darkened, her daughter was also confused, the house that was about to be in hand, the car and 400,000 yuan were gone just like that. Shu Ziqi's expression froze. Indeed. How would she live without Chi Feng? She had no savings except for those bags and jewelry. It was impossible for her to work. She panicked again. She had been angry just now and hadn't thought of this. Mom, what should I do then? Her expression collapsed immediately. What else can I do? You go to him every day to make peace. You have been dating for so long. He can't be unkind. Just say we are willing to reduce the betrothal gift. 300,000 is enough. Mom, you promised to buy me a 400,000 car. I don't want a 300,000 car. Shu Chen was anxious. He had told his friends that it was a 400,000 car. If he drove a 300,000 car, he would be embarrassed. Oh, Xiao Chen, don't worry. Agree first. When the wedding comes, we will suddenly add 100,000. Chi Feng will definitely give it at that time. Shu's mother smiled flatteringly and comforted her son. That's about right. Shu Chen nodded with satisfaction and continued to play with his phone. Shu Ziqi frowned tightly. Although he was very reluctant, this was the only way. The next day. Train station. Xiaofeng, is it really okay? Don't worry, Dad, I'm really fine. You don't know your son yet. Will he be the kind of person who will fall because of love? Qi Junwo and Cao Hong looked at their son with worry. But their son's bright smile made them feel a little relieved. Dad, when you go back this time, discuss the land with the village chief. When I go back in a while, we will start building a new house, the tallest one in the village. Chi Feng may not have had this ability before, but after having the system, he can build a villa in his hometown. In fact, he thought so last night, but he didn't tell his parents, for fear that they would think he was unrealistic. And he didn't have that much money for the time being, so he planned to take the money back to his hometown directly after he had more money. Son, there's no rush for the new house. You should work hard first and make more money so that you can get married. Okay, Dad, I know. You have to make money, but you have to build a house. Ticket checking is about to start. Let's go in. Chi Feng smiled and pushed his parents into the station. Then, Chi Feng took a taxi to the company, but he didn't go to work. He resigned. There's a system. If it's in an online novel, he's at least a protagonist. Wouldn't it be embarrassing to work for others? And the conditions for this system reward don't allow him to sit in the office all the time. He must take the initiative to find a woman. Outside the original rental house, Shuziki took the key and took a deep breath. At this point, Chi Fong should not have gone to work yet. She told herself in her heart that she must hold back no matter what. Creak. Opened the door. Shuziki looked at the slightly messy room and was a little confused. Because Chi Fong always tidied the room very well. Could it be that because of what happened yesterday, Chi Fong didn't have the heart to tidy up the room? This means that Chi Fong still has her in his heart and doesn't really want to leave her. Otherwise, he wouldn't feel bad. Shuziki felt more confident when she thought of this, and the corners of her mouth rose. You can't leave me. What are you pretending for? She took a step and pushed open the bedroom door. Chi Fong, I'll give you a chance. As long as you apologize, I'm willing to lower my salary. Shuziki was stuck in the middle of her words. Because she saw that the bedroom was messy, Chi Fong's things were gone, and the suitcase was gone. Chi Fong moved away. No, no. She shook her head, unable to believe the scene in front of her. Soon she suddenly remembered something, rushed to the dressing table and opened the drawer. All the luxury jewelry inside was gone. No. No. She then rushed to the cabinet again. Clatter. Pull it open. The expensive bags inside were gone. No. Shuziki roared in despair. Chi Fong, that's mine, you can't take it away. Chapter 5. This is freedom. Ding. Emotional value plus 800. Emotional value plus 1000. Emotional value plus 1200. Chi Fong, who had just stepped into the company, was suddenly startled by the voice in his mind. What's going on? What did Shuziki do again? Did she return to the rental house and find that her treasures were taken away by me? Chi Fong thought of the reason and raised his mouth. He had already cashed in all those things yesterday and sold them for almost 100,000. He also called his parents. He might need money to go home to discuss the house building. His phone number was also changed. It can be said that as long as he quits now, Shuziki will never find him again. The emotional value increased so much at once, it seems very desperate. When Chi Fong thought of Shuziki's desperate expression, he felt happy and continued to walk into the company. In the rental house, Shuziki held the phone, her face full of tears. Mom, he moved away and took my bag and jewelry away, woo woo. What, is he really that heartless? Mother Shu was shocked. This was something she had not expected. Although Chi Fong scolded them yesterday, he was kind in nature, otherwise he would not have helped their family do so much work for so many years. He even took away the bag and jewelry. Is he really determined to break off with their Shu family? Mom, what should I do? I can't get through to his phone. Shuziki had wanted to call Chi Fong to question him, but Chi Fong's phone number was unavailable, which made her not know what to do. Don't worry, let me think about it. Do you know where his company is? Go to his company and find him directly. Mom, I don't know his company. You don't even know this. What have you been doing these years? Mother Shu's voice was full of doubts. I play games and watch TV series. Shuziki hesitated and said a little embarrassedly. Mother Shu's face twitched. Okay, look around the house to see if there is anything related to his company. He can't move it so cleanly. Well, okay. After a while of rustling. Mom, I found it. Here is his company's business card. Shuziki said with surprise. Then what are you waiting for? Go find him. Remember, the bigger the better. You must say that he is a scumbag, so that he will be forced to make peace with you for the sake of face. Mother Shu breathed a sigh of relief. Men love face the most, and it's still in the company. Chi Fong probably doesn't want to make things big. Don't worry, Mom, I know what to do. Shuziki was furious now. Chi Fong, you are such a heartless man, you just left without saying anything about our old relationship. It's fine if you leave, but why did you take her bag and jewelry? That's her stuff. After hanging up the phone, Shuziki rushed out of the room and rushed to Chi Fong's company. Chi Fong took a last look at the company behind him and strode away. From now on, no need to work day and night to make plans and deal with the unreasonable demands of the leaders. You can go to bed whenever you want. You can get up whenever you want. Chi Feng's steps were light, and he felt the sweetness when he smelled the air outside. The breeze of early spring blew on his face, making him open his arms involuntarily. This is freedom. Ignoring the doubtful eyes of passers-by, Chi Feng took a taxi and drove to a destination. He was going on a blind date. We were contacted on a dating website last night. He was one of the few people on that dating website who was rated 80 points by the system. Not long after he left, Shuziki rushed into his former company with an angry face. Shuziki broke free from the obstruction of the receptionist and stood in the office area and shouted, "Where is Chi Feng? Get out! You shameless bastard, give me back my bag and jewelry." It immediately attracted everyone's attention. "Miss, you can't make a loud noise. We have a reception room. If there is anything, let's talk over there, okay?" The receptionist was in a dilemma. Why is this woman so unreasonable? "I won't go. Call Chi Feng out for me. I only want him." "What are you arguing about? Chi Feng just resigned." Suddenly, a middle-aged man in a suit walked out with an angry face. "What? He resigned? Where did he go?" Shuziki opened her mouth wide. She had finally found the company, but Chi Feng resigned. Isn't this playing with her? And he resigned. Where should she find Chi Feng? How should I know? Ask him yourself. The middle-aged man was Chi Feng's boss. He actually refused Chi Feng's resignation in his heart because Chi Feng was capable and willing to endure hardships. He was his right-hand man, but Chi Feng was determined to resign, so he had no choice. "No, you are lying. Did you hide Chi Feng?" Shuziki didn't want to believe this fact and was about to go deeper into the company. But she was stopped by the front desk again. "Girl, if you keep making noise like this, I will let the security kick you out." The middle-aged man looked unhappy. "Do you really think anyone can make trouble here? You chase me away, but I'm not afraid of you. I want Chi Feng, let Chi Feng come out to see me." Shuziki has seen TV dramas, and these people dare not take action. "Security!" The middle-aged man roared, and 2 security guards walked in. "Drag her out." "Yes." The 2 security guards nodded, and each of them took one hand and dragged Shuziki out of the company. "No, let me go, you are a hooligan." Shuziki wanted to struggle, but how could she break free from the restraints of the 2 big men? Bang! Shuziki was thrown to the ground. "Arr!" She screamed in pain from her buttocks. Then she looked at the 2 security guards standing at the door and knew that it was impossible for her to get in. The pain in her buttocks and the grievance in her heart suddenly came to her heart. Tears flowed out. How could this be different from what was shown on TV? After crying for a while, she took out her mobile phone and called her mother. "Mom, he quit." "What? He doesn't even want his job anymore." Mother Shu was shocked. Chi Feng was going to end up like this, which cut off any chance of reconciliation. What should we do next? Now I can't find him, even if I reduce the bride price, it's useless. Yes, Mom, men are really not good. He said he would marry me and love me forever, but now I can't even see him. Shuziki said painfully with tears. Why are you crying? Can crying solve the problem? Think about other ways to contact Chi Feng. Friends or places he likes to go. Mother Shu was also upset when she heard the crying. The 400,000 yuan that was about to be in her hands was gone. I can't think. I don't know his friends, and I don't know where he likes to go. What's the point of raising you so big? You're a waste. Mother Shu was speechless. How could she give birth to such a daughter? Chapter 6. You don't want me to work hard with you, do you? You don't want me to work hard with you, do you? My precious youth, why should I suffer with you? What? You said your youth is also youth. Ridiculous, how can your youth compare with mine? You can only make a few thousand yuan a month at most, and you can't even provide basic security after marriage. You don't have a house or a car, and you still want to marry me, it's a foolish dream. Chi Feng, who came to the agreed place, squatted aside and watched the young couple quarreling at the door of the company with relish. He also threw a multi-flavored peanut into his mouth from time to time. It's really interesting. The man carefully prepared a proposal and was ready to propose to his girlfriend on this grand day. In the end, he was slapped hard by reality. It's too miserable. There are so many people watching. Chi Fong felt bad for the man just thinking about it. What? It's illegal for you women to make money, right? If it were him, he would definitely fight back fiercely, but he didn't know if this woman had 80 points, and whether she could earn emotional points. But when he saw the man begging, the peanuts in his mouth instantly lost their taste. Bar. It's embarrassing for a man. You are Chi Fong, right? A somewhat cold voice sounded when Chi Fong complained. Chi Fong turned his head and saw a woman wearing black framed glasses, a white shirt, and black trousers. She looked about 7 points, and she had the temperament of a female teacher in an action movie, which slightly added a little point. It is said that she is a graduate student, no wonder the system can rate her 80 points. I'm in a hurry, there is a coffee shop opposite, let's go through the process quickly. The woman didn't even answer Chi Fong's question, and walked towards the coffee shop opposite the university with a cold face. Chi Fong frowned slightly, this woman is a bit arrogant. If it were normal, Chi Fong would definitely turn around and leave. After what happened yesterday, he knew that women should not be spoiled. But now that he had the system, he had to bear it. Come to the coffee shop. The woman adjusted a pair of black glasses, and before Chi Fong sat down, she spoke directly. I don't have any requirements. There is a house of no less than 150 square meters next to my company, which is convenient for me to go to and from work. But I also need a car. The price doesn't need to be too high, but it must have a large space and good performance. One worth about 1 million is enough. Because I like to travel and go to all parts of the world every month, I don't want my married life to become monotonous. You don't have to accompany me after marriage, but you can't stop me from playing with my male bestie. Because I spent all my money on traveling, you'd better have a savings of about 2 million to deal with unexpected events in our married life. These are my only requirements. If you don't have any problems, we can get the certificate tomorrow. Chi Fong's eyebrows jumped wildly. Is this treating him as a magic lamp? Put it here to make a wish. If you scratch him, these wishes can't be fulfilled. The key point is that there are male besties. Ding! Target requirement is successful. A house worth 5.5 million in Tianqing Palace, 40,000 points of emotional value are required for exchange. A Land Rover Defender 130 worth 1.1 million, 10,000 points of emotional value are required for exchange. 2 million renminbi, 20,000 points of emotional value are required for exchange. The other party adds 10 male besties, 1 point of emotional value is required for exchange. A temporary position in a company, with a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan, 1,000 points of emotional value are required for exchange. A physical examination card from the People's Hospital, 2,000 points of emotional value are required for exchange. Note 1, the system will require different emotional values according to their host's target object, and the specific amount will be determined by the system. The higher the score, the lower the emotional value required for exchange. Note 2, the emotional value generated by the target object will also change according to their host's target object. The higher the score, the more emotional value is generated because of emotional fluctuations. Note 3, there is no clear social value requirement, all you need is a little emotional value. The system's voice really sounded, and Chi Fong's eyes suddenly lit up. As expected, a woman with a system score of 80, the requirements she put forward are different. The explanations of the last few points of the system are also easy to understand. After all, the emotional value of a woman with a high score is definitely more valuable than that of a woman with a low score. Note 3 is also easy to understand, just like the 10 male besties. Chi Fong didn't expect that the system would even include requirements such as targets. It seems that the system is also very funny. That's all. Chi Fong resisted the urge to curse. Making money is important, so let's squeeze this woman first. There's no need to be hard on emotional value. Oh, yes, there is one more. I can cook and do housework, but I must hire a nanny after marriage, because cooking and doing housework will accelerate my aging. And you must also take on the responsibility of supporting my parents. Be filial to my parents and take me home to visit them at least once a week. Because I am an only child, you must go to my house during holidays. I don't want my parents to be lonely. As for the monthly support, 5,000 a month is enough, but you must take my parents to their hospital for a comprehensive physical examination every year, and the gifts cannot be less than 2,000 each time during the 3 festivals and birthdays of the year. After all, it is not easy for my parents to support me. After the woman finished speaking, she looked at Chi Fong quietly. If this requirement could not be met, there was no need to get married. Har. Chi Fong was amused. Isn't this woman a graduate student? Why doesn't she have a brain? No problem, these are just a small thing, is there anything else? He looked at her like a fool and asked with a playful smile. The woman was slightly stunned. Although she felt that these requests were not excessive, she was a graduate student after all. But Chi Fong agreed so readily that she was a little shocked. Since you agreed so readily, I will give you a 50% discount on the betrothal gift. 440,000 will be enough. 440,000 is too low. You are a graduate student, a pillar of the country. How can you give me a 50% discount? 880,000 must be given in full. More than 440,000 is unlucky. Chi Fong raised his mouth. Really? The woman was a little uneasy and a little surprised. It was the first time she met such a man. He was really her dream lover. The target requirement is 880,000 renminbi for success, and the required emotional value for exchange is 8,000 points. Ding! Emotional value plus 500. Chi Fong was a little surprised. Such a small surprise from the opposite side gave him 500 emotional points. As expected, she is a woman with 80 points, not comparable to Shu Ziki who has 70 points. Of course. Chi Fong nodded. Well, we will go to get the marriage certificate tomorrow, and we will meet tonight to exchange feelings. I know a Michelin restaurant with very good taste, and the red wine inside is also very good. Zhang Leier's eyes lit up, and she stood up excitedly and said, regardless of the pretended coldness just now, such a man must be won as soon as possible. Chi Fong did not stand up, but relaxed his sitting posture, leaning on the back of the chair, crossing his hands, showing a playful expression. Okay, but before dinner, I want to ask, what will you pay? If the other party can also pay the same or less price, Chi Fong will stop. After all, she is a good woman. I've married you, what else do you want me to pay? Zhang Leier frowned. Chi Fong, 6. Chapter 7. You know shit, I'm a warm man. Interesting. Chi Fong's mouth curled up. It seemed that he had thought too much. How could a woman who could make so many requests so comfortably be a good woman? I think you are also a decent person. Why do you like to be a beggar? Zhang Leier's excited expression froze. She was not a fool. She knew that Chi Fong was teasing her. What do you mean? Were you just teasing me? The smile on Zhang Leier's face disappeared. Ding! Emotional value plus 1,000. Don't you understand Chinese? I said you are beggar. No, you are not even as good as beggars. Beggars know how to beg humbly. You look average, your figure is average, your personality is not good, you have no savings, and you don't want to give anything. You dare to make so many requests. You are really awesome. Obviously a healthy person, but she can only beg. Chi Fong will certainly not indulge her. Giving this money to beggars can at least get a thank you. This woman can actually ask for it so naturally. Ding! Emotion value plus 3,000. Emotion value plus 3,500. Emotion value plus 4,000. Zhang Leier's face was ashen, and her breathing was a little rapid. You are a beggar, I am a graduate student, what's so excessive about my requests? What qualifications do you have to scold me? You still lie shamelessly, it's ridiculous, you have no money and still go out for a blind date, you are really a scum of society, this society has become so bad because of people like you. Zhang Leier was completely stopped pretending and started to curse. When has she ever suffered such grievances? All along, it was men who coaxed her, she was a little fairy. Because it was after get-off work, there were quite a lot of people in the cafe, and Zhang Leier's shouting naturally attracted everyone's attention. Naturally, there were liquors in Zhang Leier's company. It was very uncomfortable to see Zhang Leier sitting with a strange man, and now he finally had the opportunity to show off. Loyer, don't argue with such people. They are parasites of society and can't make any contribution to society. You have your period today, don't be angry. This is the brown sugar water I made for you. A man with short and curly hair and a very wretched appearance immediately stood beside Zhang Liao and handed her a thermos cup with a flattering look. Damn! This is a level 10 liquor. Is he Li Zhongheng's direct disciple? Chi Fong almost dropped his jaw in shock. Oh, there are people who don't like being human and like being dogs. Chi Fong looked at the man with disdain. The curly-haired man's face darkened, and he pointed at Chi Fong and said, "You know nothing, I'm a warm man. You bitches and dogs are really a perfect match." Chi Fong looked at the couple and smiled. "Then why don't you listen to her request for me just now? See if you can fulfill it. With conditions like Loye, any request is not excessive." After the curly-haired man finished speaking, he looked at Zhang Loye with a face full of affection. "Loye, tell me the conditions you just put on him. No matter what, I can satisfy you. I will prove that I am better than him. My house has just been demolished recently. You are still the best to me." Zhang Loye's eyes lit up slightly, and she looked at this dog licker. "I just asked him to have a 150 square meter house next to the company, a car worth about 1 million yuan, a deposit of 2 million yuan, allow me to play with my male bestie after marriage, give my parents 5,000 yuan every month, take my parents for a physical examination every 3 months, and I won't cook or do housework after marriage." Zhang Layer just finished speaking, and then looked at Chi Fong with contempt. "It's just such a simple request, and you didn't complete it, and you still come to the blind date. Ding! Emotion value plus 3,000. Chi Fong narrowed his eyes slightly, and his emotion value has reached 33,300 points so far. Except for the house and the betrothal gift, he can exchange them all. Chi Fong thought about it and decided to exchange them all because he needed these assets. Ding! Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for winning a Land Rover Defender 130, which is being delivered and is worth 1.1 million. Ding! Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for obtaining 2 million renminbi, which has been deposited into their host's bank card. Ding! Exchange successful. Reward the other party with 10 male besties. Ding! Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for taking up a temporary position in a company, with a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan. Ding! Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for obtaining a free physical examination card from the People's Hospital, which has been put into their host's pocket, with a term of 20 years. Current remaining emotion value, 299 points. From a 10,000 yuan household to a 100 yuan household, Chi Fong lamented that this emotion value is even more durable than money. Chi Fong then touched his pocket. Sure enough, he found a card. Buzz. The phone vibrated again. Chi Fong took it out and took a look. China Construction Bank. 2 million yuan has been credited to your account. Take off. Although I don't know how the car will be issued, the 2 million and the physical examination card are enough. Then his family's net worth now adds up to about 3.5 million. He really became a millionaire. Goodness. Brother Tonesy. Awesome. Chi Fong swallowed his saliva and looked at Zhang Layer with a hot look in his eyes. This is not a bitch, this is his cash cow. When the curly-haired man heard Zhang Layer's words, his expression was dull and his mouth opened wide. Their family received more than 2 million yuan from the demolition, which was not enough to buy a house. Their company is one of the business districts in the city. The surrounding housing prices are not low. Take the nearest, Tianqing Palace, as an example. A 150 square meter house is estimated to cost 5 million. Can't you do it? It's really a rubbish. Zhang Layer frowned, and seeing the expression of his dog licking, he knew that he was also a braggart. The man's mouth is really deceiving. No, Layer, I can do it, it just takes a little time. As long as you agree to marry me, I can buy you a car worth 1 million first. The curly-haired man said anxiously, he didn't want to lose face in front of his goddess. A car worth 1 million. You want me to marry you, what are you thinking? Look in the mirror and see if you are worthy, okay? Zhang Layer showed a look of contempt. A car worth 1 million wants to marry her home, it's a foolish dream. Why don't you say a little more about your requirements? I think your licking dog can't satisfy you. If you say more, maybe I can satisfy you. Chi Fong said playfully. You liars still want to tease me, it's impossible, unless you tell me now that you are the boss of a company with assets of over 100 million, otherwise you will never be worthy of me in this life, you are just a piece of trash. Zhang Layer is not stupid, she raised her chin and would not fall into Chi Fong's trap again. Ding! The target requirement is successful. 1 seat of Haolele Entertainment Company, emotional value required for exchange, 800,000 points. Emotion value plus 1,000. R. What a pity. The voice in his mind made Chi Fong feel a pity. 800,000 emotional value seems high. But at present, this woman's emotions are still very stable, can give several thousand emotion points at once. As long as it is a little more intense, it may be tens of thousands. It should not be difficult. You really dare to think? A boss with assets of over 100 million, which pig in the pigpen are you from to dream so much? Chi Fong sneered. You? Zhang Layer's face turned green with anger. Didn't you ask me to make a request? Emotion value plus 4,000. Emotion value plus 4,000. Emotion value plus 4,000. Chapter 8 The Mysterious Big Man. Watch your mouth. Who are you? How much money do you have in savings? All you're wearing are cheap goods. The curly-haired man just lost face in front of the goddess, and now he has to get it back. TSK, the dog starts to protect its master again. Good, it's really loyal. Bark twice more so I can hear it. Chi Fong smiled. You? The curly-haired man became anxious. Although he was a bootlicker, he always thought of himself as a warm-hearted man in his heart. What do you mean by I? Your master doesn't even like you, yet you're still here defending her. How shameless. Chi Fong hates bootlickers the most. How sad it would be for his parents to see them giving up their own dignity and licking others like this. It is better to focus this energy on your parents. The curly-haired man's face turned purple as Chi Fong touched his sore spot. You are so useless. I thought you could be of use. Zhang Layer looked at the curly-haired man who was speechless and cursed in dissatisfaction. Loye, I can do it. My family got 2 million from the demolition. I can give it all to you. Don't be angry. The curly-haired man said in a panic. He originally wanted to come out to improve his favorability, but it seems that his performance has become even worse. 2 million. Zhang Layer raised his eyebrows. Yes, Layer, 2 million, isn't that much more impressive than that poor guy? He probably didn't even have 10,000 yuan on him. The curly-haired man said happily when he saw Zhang Layer's expression eased a little. Chi Fong shook his head. This man was beyond help. Sudden. A brake sound was heard next to the window where they were sitting. A domineering Land Rover was parked right next to the car, separated only by a piece of glass, giving it a powerful impact. It also attracted everyone's attention. A hot woman in a professional suit and black stockings got out of the car. When the woman saw Chi Fong through the window, she immediately rushed in and came to his side. He handed over a document bag with a respectful look on his face. Hello, is this Mr. Chi Fong? The Land Rover Defender 130 you ordered from my store has been successfully delivered. Here are your car keys and related documents. Curly-haired man. Zhang Layer. Emotional value plus 10,000. Cafe spectators. Chi Fong raised his eyebrows and looked at Zhang Layer. This woman is so materialistic. Just a car, but it added 10,000 emotional points. Good. Restraining his inner excitement, Chi Fong calmly took the car keys and related documents and looked at Zhang Layer. Is this the car you want? I just bought it online. Zhang Layer was about to speak when the curly-haired man spoke first. Impossible, you must be acting. How could someone place an order for a car using a mobile phone? Sir, please do not use your narrow vision to doubt others. In this world, as long as you have money, anything is possible. You can check the license plate number, the transfer and transaction time, and you can see it very clearly. The saleswoman said with a serious face. She was a sales manager, and she came here in person because her leader suddenly gave an order, saying that a mysterious big shot had asked the headquarters for a car directly and asked her to deliver the goods to the designated location immediately. It is said that a lot of connections were involved in the procedures related to the car. Chi Fong must be an extraordinary and mysterious figure who can make the headquarters so anxious. I also have to behave better in front of him. The curly-haired man frowned. To be honest, he didn't want to check because if it was true, Chi Fong's identity must be no simple one, and he also understands the principles of female salespeople. But if that happens, I will have no chance to show off in front of the goddess. Emotional value plus 10,000. When Zhang Layer heard what the saleswoman said, she looked at Chi Fong with wide eyes. Is this man pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger? Oh, by the way, I have a deposit of 2 million in this bank card, and also a physical examination card from the People's Hospital. Are they what you want? Chi Fong knew that Zhang Layer was in shock, so he struck while the iron was hot and put the mobile phone balance and medical examination card in front of Zhang Layer. Emotional value plus 15,000. Zhang Layer's breathing quickened. This perfectly met her requirements. There is 2.4 million in one bank card, which is much better than the bootlicker next to her. Yes. I want it. Oh, really? Do you think you deserve it? Chi Feng leaned back with one hand open. The female salesperson was very sensible and stood in Chi Feng's arms. The expression was full of teasing. The female salesperson was not stupid. She could see that there was a conflict between her big client and the woman in front of her. Then she will naturally cooperate. And if I could really establish a relationship, I wouldn't have to be a salesperson. Emotional value plus 7,000. Chi Feng was really amused when he heard the system voice in his mind. The emotional upheaval this woman felt from being ridiculed wasn't even as big as the size of his savings and car. Zhang Layer's face turned pale. Her appearance, the only thing she was proud of, was now defeated. Although she felt that she was on par with this beautiful female salesperson, Chi Feng really didn't need to choose her. No, she has a degree. I'm a graduate student, and she's just a wild whore. What's the point of being pretty? Zhang Layer said with a ferocious expression. Emotional value plus 8,000. I'm sorry, we at Land Rover are very strict in selecting our employees. I'm a graduate student from Tsinghua University, and this is my China Higher Education Student Information and Career Center certificate. The black-stocking beauty quickly took out her cell phone, called up China Higher Education Student Information and Career Center, and placed it in front of Zhang Layer. Emotional value plus 8,000. Zhang Layer. She looked and found that they were indeed serious graduate students. Now her only advantage is gone. The other people in the cafe looked at Chi Feng with envy. This is life. Very exciting. The woman opposite wasted a great opportunity. Moment. Many women in the coffee shop began to get restless and were ready to go up and ask for Chi Feng's contact information. The curly-haired man wanted to speak up to help his goddess, but he couldn't find any way to help. No matter which aspect, my goddess has no advantage. But suddenly, he felt his shoulder being pushed and he looked at his goddess in surprise. Why don't you get out of here and don't disturb Brother Chi here? Zhang Layer walked away from the curly-haired man with disdain and walked to Chi Feng's side with a bright smile on her face. Well, Brother Chi, I was just joking. In fact, the conditions I mentioned are just to test your sincerity. As long as you have a desire to make progress, I am willing to eat with you even if life is hard. The curly-haired man felt as if smoke was coming out of every pore of his body. His goddess was actually so flattering to a man. Chi Feng was also shocked by the shamelessness of this woman. She really looked like a heroine in an action movie from Japan. Why should I suffer with you? What gives you the right? Just because you have the face of a Japanese movie heroine. I have misophobia, sorry. Chi Feng put one hand to his nose, fanned it, and said with disgust. Emotional value plus 10,000. Zhang Layer's face froze for a moment, as Chi Feng hit the nail on the head. Chapter 9. I've never looked forward to a blind date so much. Brother Chi, it was all a misunderstanding just now. That was not the real me. I am actually a very kind person at heart and I am not materialistic. I will not ask for anything from you. I really like you, Brother Chi. Zhang Layer explained anxiously, trying to keep him. If you are not materialistic, then I will have even less interest in you. Chi Feng really wanted to scold this woman until she broke down, but she was too thick-skinned, and nothing he said was of any use. And if Chi Feng wants to have an emotional breakdown, he needs to understand this woman very well. But apart from the basic information, he knew nothing about it. It seems that emotional points are not so easy to earn. Chi Feng sighed in his heart. But so far, his sentiment value has risen to 81,299 points. This woman immediately provided herself with 81,000 emotional points. A score of 80 is already so impressive. If a woman scores 90 or even 100, even the slightest fluctuation will result in tens of thousands. Chi Feng has never been so eager for a blind date. Zhang Layer was a little confused. Isn't it okay to be non-materialistic? Emotional value plus 1,000. Brother Chi. Get lost, don't call me that, you don't deserve it, and stay away from me, your bad breath is making me sick. Emotional value plus 10,000. Zhang Layer took a deep breath. She could hardly hold it back any longer. But for the sake of her future happy life, she has to endure it. Brother Chi, don't be angry, it was all my fault just now. Zhang Layer stretched out her hand and wanted to hug Chi Feng's other arm. Stop, don't touch me. I've already told you that I'm a germaphobe and don't like strangers touching me. But he was stopped by Chi Feng. Zhang Layer. Then put your other hand on the other person's waist. Emotional value plus 2000. Brother Chi, how can I be a stranger? I'm your wife. Zhang Layer had a look of resentment on her face and wanted to hold Chi Feng's arm forcefully. But he was stopped by the female salesperson. Miss, please respect yourself. Brother Chi, please give me a chance to show myself. As long as you get to know me better, you will find that I actually have a lot of inner qualities. Zhang Layer spoke in a secret tone, her voice deliberately becoming seductive, and now she was no longer as cold and aloof as she was at the beginning. Why should I know the connotation of a chicken? Sorry, I'm afraid of being coquettish, so I never eat roast chicken. Emotional value plus 10,000. Emotional value plus 20,000. Emotional value plus 30,000. As soon as Chi Feng finished speaking, the system sound kept ringing. His eyes lit up. Finally his defense was broken. You are the roast chicken, your whole family is roast chicken. Zhang Layer hates this title the most because she actually worked a part-time job when she was in college. Plus Chi Feng's previous accumulation. Finally. She couldn't bear it anymore and exploded. I'm going to kill you. Zhang Layer was about to reach over the saleswoman and grab Chi Feng with her claws and fangs bared. But unfortunately, she couldn't even meet Chi Feng. The commotion here had long attracted the attention of Luo Hu, the owner of the cafe, but he did not rush up to persuade them, but first understood the situation. A mature adult should not act rashly, but explore the benefits of things for himself. After confirming that Chi Feng is the boss, just let the employees under him watch, and once any situation that is unfavorable to Chi Feng occurs, they should immediately step forward to stop it, and then show their performance. And he also hated a woman who looked very much like his childhood goddess. I just felt that Chi Feng's scolding was good and it was very satisfying. Chi Feng was a little surprised when he saw the two coffee shop employees who were helping him stop the man. He turned around and saw Luo Hu suddenly walking towards him. Mr. Chi, don't worry. No one will cause trouble in my shop. Luo Hu said flatteringly, then changed his tone and scolded, you two, throw her out. Yes. The two employees didn't hesitate and carried Zhang Layer out of the cafe. Let me go, you idiots. Zhang Layer was so angry that she was about to go crazy. Why did he only chase her away? It was obviously Chi Feng who cursed even more harshly. Chi Feng's pupils suddenly shrank. How can this be possible? I haven't squeezed her clean yet. Wait a moment. He spoke quickly. Emotional value plus 4,000. Zhang Layer's eyes were instantly filled with anticipation. Could there be a chance for a turnaround? Luo Hu and others also looked at Chi Feng in surprise. Remember to disinfect the entire store later. It smells like chicken. It would be bad if chicken plague breaks out here. Emotional value plus 20,000. Emotional value plus 30,000. Emotional value plus 20,000. Oh. Chi Feng, I want to kill you, let me go, Zhang Layer, and you are irreconcilable. Zhang Layer's whole face was distorted, her glasses flew off, and her hair was messy. Okay, sir, we will take relevant measures here. Luo Hu smacked his lips. The man in front of him was too poisonous. He had to make friends with him, otherwise he would be angry to death. Good. Chi Feng nodded, then waved his hand, indicating that he could be dragged out. Zhang Layer has been squeezed almost enough, if he continues, things will not end well. Chi Feng, just wait for me. I won't let you go. Zhang Layer stared at Chi Feng with her eyes fixed. If looks could kill, Chi Feng would have died tens of thousands of times. Seeing his goddess being dragged out, the curly-haired man hurriedly followed. Chi Feng also stood up and prepared to leave. This blind date was really fruitful. Mr. Chi Feng, this is my business card. Welcome to visit us next time. Seeing Chi Feng was about to leave, Luo Hu hurriedly handed over his business card. If I can't get in touch with this big guy, then everything I just did will be useless. Good. Chi Feng took the business card. This boss is a practical man. They can come to this coffee shop in the future and maybe they can cooperate with each other. Luo Hu breathed a sigh of relief. The fact that the other party asked for his business card meant that there was still a chance for further communication. Let me take you back to the 4S store. Chi Feng looked at the saleswoman in black stockings on the side and felt a little sorry about it. Because the other party only scored 79 points after being evaluated by the system. We were almost on a blind date. Although he didn't know why Zhang Layer scored 1 point higher, it was the system's evaluation and there was nothing he could do about it. Obviously, no matter which one of them has the upper hand. Could it be that he has excellent knowledge of double fighting? No need, Mr. Chi, I can just take a taxi back later. It's okay, I'm free, get in the car. After Chi Feng finished speaking, he walked outside. The saleswoman with black stockings is a good assist anyway, so it's no big deal to help her out a little. And don't girls all have best friends? A beautiful girl's best friends are usually her best friends too, so maybe you can get up to 80 points. The saleswoman in black stockings showed a slight delight in her eyes and followed him. She likes this kind of domineering president. Goodbye, Mr. Chi. Welcome back next time. Luo Hu saw the two of them off to the car and waved his hand with a flattering look on his face. Chi Feng nodded slightly and started the car. Boom! The engine roared. Chi Feng's eyebrows jumped slightly, and he felt a little excited. It was indeed a minion-level luxury car. I used to have to spend all my money to buy one. He suppressed his inner excitement, stepped on the accelerator, and the car slowly drove away from the coffee shop. Zhang Layer was stopped outside and watched the woman in black stockings get into Chi Feng's car. The angry mood suddenly changed. Originally, I should have been the one getting in that Land Rover. She is regretting it so much now. She had such a good opportunity to marry into a wealthy family, but she missed it. Regret. Hate it. So angry. Chapter 10. Who would play pure love if they were a decent person? Emotional value plus 10,000. Emotional value plus 10,000. Chi Feng, who was driving, heard the voice of the system and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. System, how many emotion points do I have now? The basic information of the host is as follows: Happy Smiley. Name, Chi Feng. Gender, male. No special skills yet. Remaining sentiment value, 248,299. Unredeemed rewards: Happy Smiley. One of the Haulele Entertainment Company, the required emotional value for redemption, 800,000 points. A house worth 5.5 million in Tianqing Palace, 40,000 emotional points are required for redemption. The system is quite considerate. Help him list all the information. This was just one blind date, and I gained this much emotion. It seems that 80 points is really a watershed. Shuziki is lucky that it is a novice reward, otherwise she would not even be able to get the emotional value. The 800,000 yuan that company can earn is not far away. Just 3 more blind dates and it will be almost there. As for that house, Chi Feng is not planning to change it for the time being. Because the emotional fluctuations caused by letting a woman know that you have a house and buying a house in front of a woman are completely different. If used well, it can bring a lot of emotional value. And it won't be lost if you don't redeem it. Mr. Chi, you are so handsome, so rich, why are you here for a blind date? The voice of the saleswoman in black stockings suddenly sounded, bringing Chi Feng back to his senses. Because I'm not young anymore, and my parents want to have grandchildren, so I came out to try my luck. If you have a female best friend or something, you can introduce one to me. Chi Feng smiled slightly, hoping that the saleswoman's best friend could score over 80 points. He Ching showed disappointment in his eyes, because Chi Feng's words implied that he looked down on him. But she soon cheered up because she actually had a best friend who was a great beauty and an artist. He is much more beautiful than her. Make your female best friend successful so that you can also benefit from it. And if it really works out, I will be considered a benefactor to both of them, and I will definitely get a lot of benefits. Har har, Mr. Chi, I actually have a best friend here, she's very beautiful, and she's a painter. Oh. Chi Feng's eyes lit up, and it turned out that sending the other party back to the 4S store was the right choice. At the entrance of the coffee shop at this time, Zhang Layer squatted on the ground, tears streaming down her face. Like her, the other women in the cafe who were ready to make a move also felt regretful. Chi Feng left too quickly and didn't have time to ask for their contact information. The curly-haired man walked to his goddess and watched her crying like that. Started to comfort softly. Loye, don't cry, you still have me. I can give you all 2 million as long as you marry me. Zhang Leia raised her head and was about to yell at the man. It must be because of him that Qi Feng misunderstood her and made her miss this opportunity. But she held back because it was impossible for Qi Feng to do that. I am getting older now, so it is time for me to find an honest man to marry. It doesn't matter if his conditions are a little worse. Will you buy me a house? I will try my best. Will you buy me a car? I will try my best. Then can you allow me to go on a trip with my male best friend? Drink and go clubbing together. The curly-haired man hesitated for a moment, but finally nodded. Can. And just when he agreed, a group of men, about 10 in number, came up to the two of them. The curly-haired man looked confused. Before I could ask them who they were, one of the men spoke up. Yair, we're here to pick you up. Don't come back until you're drunk tonight. Well, today just happens to be a very unhappy day. Zhang Leia agreed without hesitation. Wait, Leia, who are they? The curly-haired man opened his eyes wide and asked in confusion. My male besties. Didn't you just say you could accept it? But you didn't say you had 10. Well, I don't think there are that many in my memory, but it seems that there are so many. No matter what, they are all my male best friends anyway. You won't regret it, right? Oh, no, I don't regret it. That's good. Let's go. I'm going to go drink. I'll come to you tomorrow to get the certificate. After Zhang Leia finished speaking, she was supported by her 2 male best friends and left with 10 other male best friends, leaving behind the curly-haired man with a twisted face. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, Mom, are you home yet? Qi Feng was lying on the sofa in his newly rented apartment, talking on the phone. After the blind date ended, he returned here. It is said that the female best friend introduced to him by He Qing, the female saleswoman wearing black stockings, is busy organizing an art exhibition these days and has no time for a blind date, so he has to wait for a few days. Qi Feng was not in a hurry either, as there were still some candidates on the dating website who met the system requirements. Here we are, son. I heard your dad said he was going on a blind date today. Cao Hong asked in surprise. What happened yesterday made them, as parents, very worried about their son's mental state. But now they feel much more relieved. Because they know their son's personality, he is a very loyal person once he makes up his mind. Since you're going on a blind date, it means you really don't care about Shuziki anymore. Yes, Mom. Qi Feng told Qi Jungwo about his blind date today. One is that I was afraid that my parents would worry that I would be immersed in that matter and unable to extricate myself. The second is to show that I have moved on. So how was the blind date? Cao Hong and Qi Jungwo talked for a long time on the train and finally figured it out. Shuziki is not a good match, and the Shu family is not a good in-law. How could you push your in-laws into a desperate situation like this? At that time, I was worried about my son's feelings for Shuziki, but now it's better to cut off all ties. You can find a better girl. Then my son's lifelong affairs will need to be reconsidered. So she is very concerned about the outcome of her son's blind date. My values and hers don't quite match. Qi Feng didn't lie either. After all, he now likes women who are more materialistic. As a result, the other party wanted to play pure love with him. Suffer with him. How could this possibly fit in? Who would play pure love if they were serious? 3 views don't matter. They are all something that you can slowly adjust to and accommodate each other after marriage. Don't have too high requirements. It's enough for you to find a girl to live with. Cao Hong said earnestly. No, Mom, she and I really don't get along. She has 10 male best friends, and I really can't accept that. The system has arranged 10 male best friends for Zhang Leia. Which man can resist? It takes a long time to find children after marriage. Cao Hong. Although Cao Hong is from the countryside, it doesn't mean she doesn't know what a male best friend means. These 10 male best friends are way off the mark. Son, the girls in the city are too extravagant. How about I tell you about Cole in the village? Xiaohua, do you still remember her? The girl who grew up with you naked is now very pretty and is no worse than the girls in the city. Har har, okay, Mom, don't worry, I'll talk to you when I get back. Of course Qi Feng now accepts everyone who comes. The more blind dates the better. At the same time, in a certain neighborhood, The Shu family looked worried. Shuziki slumped down on the sofa. She couldn't find Chi Fong at all. Shu's mother and father were even more frowned. If they couldn't find Chi Fong, they wouldn't get a penny. No, are you stupid? You took so many of my sister's things. Call the police and let them arrest him. Shu Chen's voice suddenly rang out, like a bolt of lightning striking in their minds. Chapter 11. Chi Fong stole 100,000 yuan, and the police came to his house. The next morning, Shuziki and his family rushed to the police station. In the interrogation room, the two policemen looked at the family in front of them in confusion. Are you saying that your boyfriend ran away because he didn't want to pay the bride price, and stole the bag and necklace he gave you when he ran away? Yes, go find him. So you broke up? No. You haven't broken up yet, you are still a couple, so it's not called theft, we can't send the police. The Shu family was stunned. Shuziki quickly changed her words, no, we have broken up. That's not called stealing, because he bought it. Even if it was a gift to you, he can take it away after we break up. The Shu family was stunned for a moment. Why couldn't they arrest anyone? No, he gave it to me, so it's mine. Why can he take it away? Shuziki stood up from the chair. She thought this didn't make sense. When two parties are in love, they create conditions for marriage. Giving property for the purpose of marriage is a conditional gift. If the conditions of the gift cannot be fulfilled, it means you have broken up, and the gifted property should be returned. So, he can take it. The Shu family was panicked. How could this happen? Shu Chen looked at the three confused people with a look of disappointment on his face. He pulled his family aside. No, sister, are you stupid? Just say you bought those things yourself. But wouldn't that be deceiving the police? Shuziki frowned. That doesn't matter. Our priority is to find that guy Chi Fong. Once we find Chi Fong, won't it be enough to make him admit that you bought these things yourself? But what if Chi Fong doesn't admit it? Sister, are you so unconfident about yourself? You have been dating since college, and you have been dating for 6 or 7 years, right? My family is willing to lower the betrothal gift, so why would he disagree? Shuziki was silent, thinking about how good Chi Fong had been to him in the past. No matter what you ask for, he will agree to it. Yes, Ziki, Chi Fong is a good boy. What he said that day was just out of anger. As long as we find him and have a good talk, we will be able to resolve the misunderstanding. Shu's mother also advised. Shuziki's expression relaxed. She actually didn't want to leave Chi Fong. Daughter, think about the happy life in the future as long as you can find Chi Fong. Father Shu's voice sounded again. Shuziki's psychological defenses were completely broken. I see. Even if I cheat a little, it shouldn't be a big deal. Return to original position. I remembered it wrong just now. Those things are not his. I bought them myself. Now you can go catch him. Shuziki raised his chin and said impatiently. The police officer in charge of the questioning frowned. From the very beginning, he didn't like this woman's attitude. Are you sure? If you lie, you will be held legally responsible. I'm sure. Shuziki stuttered and was a little panicked, but she still agreed. After all, after leaving Chi Fong, her quality of life has plummeted in the past 2 days. Not only were the dishes not my favorites at every meal, but there was no cake or fruit after the meal. Okay, sign here and go back and wait for news. Why don't you send the police now? You? Shuziki frowned. She didn't want to live this kind of life at home anymore. But she lives alone in a rental house, she can't cook, and she can't afford to order takeout. Just ordering a lobster would cost her dozens of dollars. When Chi Fong was around, she never had to think about these things. What are you thinking? Sign it quickly, or it will be too late. Shuziki had no choice but to sign his name. The next few days, Chi Fong did not go on the blind date because the other candidates on the dating website who scored 80 points each were not available. But Chi Fong still lived a very fulfilling life during this period. Because he has a good landlord. The new landlord is a foul-mouthed auntie. How many times have I told you not to throw the paper boxes of your express packages into the trash can, but to put them directly under the stairs? How come none of you have ears? Do you believe me and I will raise your rent? Now that winter is over and it's not cold at night, don't turn on the air conditioner. It makes a lot of noise at night. You young people don't know how to save money. And at Chief Home, I will check the furniture in your house every month. If there is any damage, you will pay double compensation. Chief Home didn't think too much about it when he rented the house. It was night and the rent was cheap. I was cheated by this landlady. I keep sending a lot of messages in the group every day. Listen to other tenants. Almost all the houses in this building belong to this landlady. But she lives here alone. Her husband died early, and her son and daughter are both abroad. They only come back to see her during the Chinese New Year. So out of boredom, she fell in love with collecting waste and required the residents to give her all their waste. If she saw it and threw it somewhere else, she would definitely nag at me. They also often say that they don't take care of their house, and if they close the door a little too hard, they will send a lot of voice messages to the tenant group. The tenants have become accustomed to it and just pretend not to see it. Because the rent is very cheap and their water and electricity are also residential water and electricity. Apart from having a foul mouth and liking to collect cardboard, this landlord doesn't have any other bad behavior. So we just turn a blind eye. But Chief Home's violent temper was unbearable. And he would not miss such a good training opportunity. When I have nothing to do, I just quarrel with this aunt in the group. It's not written in the contract that I will not double the rent. Besides, if you have the guts, move all your furniture out. I don't need your furniture. But after you move out the furniture, remember to lower the rent. Every time I talk about Chief Home certainly wouldn't tolerate it, and he responded with dozens of 60-second voice messages. He wanted the other party to know that 60s was WX's limit, not his limit. But it is a pity that the aunt is still far from the system's evaluation of 80 points, otherwise Chief Home feels that he can gain a lot of emotional points. But dating my aunt. When Chief Home thought of this, he shuddered. He couldn't bear this shortcut. On Saturday afternoon, Chief Home prepared to go out. Today is the day of his second blind date, but the person is not the painter introduced by He Ching, but someone from a dating website, who is said to be an independent self-media blogger. But Chief Hong knew that it was live streaming that sold goods. Crack. As soon as he opened the door, Chief Hong was stunned. Because there were two policemen in blue uniforms standing outside. The two policemen were also stunned for a moment because they were just about to knock on the door. "Hello, are you Comrade Chief Hong?" one of the policemen put down his hand and asked. "I am, police comrade, what happened?" "Your girlfriend called the police and reported you to the police for stealing her luxury goods worth $100,000. Now I need you to come with me." Chief Hong narrowed his eyes. This woman really won't give up. Chapter 12. Being abandoned is like falling into an icy cave. "Okay, but I have to make a phone call first, okay." Of course Chief Hong would not resist the police, but he had a blind date in an hour, so he wanted to see if he could schedule it for the evening. "Yes, as soon as possible." "Okay, thank you." Chief Hong walked aside and took out his cell phone. Came back quickly. "Sorry for the wait." "Okay, let's go." I followed the police all the way to the police station and learned a little about the situation on the way. Chief Hong was not panicked. Because everything he took was bought by himself. Invoices and purchase records are all on the mobile phone. He didn't believe that Shuziki could produce any proof to prove that she bought those things herself. The Shu family's purpose is probably to find me. However, the consequences of using such fraudulent means to falsely report an incident are not so simple. As soon as he entered the police station, Chief Hong saw the Shu family sitting in the lobby. "Chief Hong, where have you been all this time? Why did you take my bag? Are you so cruel?" Shuziki rushed up and questioned. "It's none of your business, we don't know each other." Chief Hong glanced at her indifferently. Emotional value plus 100. However, the increased emotional value in my mind was a bit surprising. It seems that the newbie benefits refer to Shuziki as a person, not that period of time. Although it's a bit little, but at least a little bit is still meat. The trip to the police station was not without gain. "Chief Hong, you can't do this. We have been together for so long. Do you not love me anymore just because of the gift?" "It's not because of the gift, it's because I see through you. You are selfish and don't know how to understand and give. Marriage is not like love. It cannot go on just relying on his pampering and preference. He is just an ordinary person and he gets tired. Even though he now has the system, he doesn't want to get back together with Shuziki, because human greed is endless. The richer he is, the more excessive Shuziki's demands will be. And there is absolutely no need to spend more money and energy on this woman. He has already paid too much over the years. Oh, by the way, this is the car I just bought, a Land Rover Defender worth 1.1 million yuan. I used the money I was going to give you as a gift. It's so nice to spend this money on myself. Chi Feng took out the Land Rover keys and smiled slightly. Emotional value plus 1,000. Shuziki's breathing stagnated slightly, and he subconsciously thought that Chi Feng was lying, but he knew Chi Feng's character and knew he would not brag like that. The fact that he can take it out proves that he really has it. It's a real Land Rover key. Shu Chen was suddenly surprised. He knew something about cars because he wanted to buy one. The Shu family members were all shocked. What was going on? Chi Feng spent the money for the wedding? Chi Feng, you can't just give up on yourself. Your parents worked hard to get that money together for you to marry me. You can't waste it like this. Can you return this car? Shuziki frowned. This money is hers. She felt a pang of heartache. Emotional value plus 500. Why should I return it? It's not like I don't have money. After Chi Feng finished speaking, he took out his mobile phone and showed the balance of his bank card. Although this is a cliché, it's fine as long as you can earn emotional points. More than 2 million. Shuziki couldn't help but scream out in surprise, her eyes widened. Emotional value plus 1,000. Emotional value plus 1,000. Emotional value plus 1,000. When did Chi Feng become so rich? Chi Feng, did you win the lottery? Shu's mother also saw it, her eyes were full of shock. That's about right. The Shu family members' eyes lit up. These 2 million yuan were enough for them to live the life they wanted. Feng, can we mediate with him privately? Shuziki asked gently. Emotional value plus 500. Yes, Chi Feng, we are all family. Is there any misunderstanding that cannot be resolved? Mother Shu also smiled. After all, their goal was to find Chi Feng, not to really capture Chi Feng. Comrade police officer, I do not accept private mediation. This matter will proceed as the legal process should. Those who lie and cheat must pay the price. Chi Feng certainly knew what these people were planning, so he wouldn't give the Shu family a chance. Why? Emotional value plus 400. Chi Feng, we were wrong before. We are willing to lower the gift price. You and Zichi have a deep relationship. Is there any misunderstanding that cannot be resolved? Mother Shu pinched Shuziki's waist and gave her a look. If private mediation cannot be carried out, then everything will be in vain. Of course Shuziki also knew this, and her tone became even gentler. Feng, I was wrong. I promise I won't make excessive demands in the future. Can we make peace? Chi Feng did not look at the Shu family and said quietly. Comrade police, let's go in. I'll provide you with the purchase records of those luxury goods. Emotional value plus 100. Good. The policeman nodded. Emotional value plus 200. The Shu family panicked. They didn't expect Chi Feng to completely disregard their previous relationship. Hey, how can you do this? We are the ones who called the police, shouldn't you listen to us? Shuziki shouted. The police frowned and said, we are just following the procedure. Since the other party is unwilling to reconcile, we cannot force them. Normally, in matters like this, they would indeed support private settlement, which would also reduce their workload. But he was also annoyed by this family. They came to the police station frantically to ask questions in the past few days, and their attitude was very bad. And Chi Feng was unwilling to mediate privately, so he naturally would not speak for the Shu family. No, we have to mediate privately. Shuziki immediately blocked Chi Feng's way, as if to say, if you don't mediate privately, I won't move aside. Chi Feng shook his shoulders. This is a police station. It's useless to act like a rogue. Madam, please move aside and do not interfere with public affairs, otherwise you will be punished according to the law. Shuziki was shocked. Why was he being punished for just stopping one person? But if he let Chi Feng into the interrogation room, his lies would definitely be exposed, and he would never be able to touch the more than 2 million again. She suddenly raised her chin and said, no, I won't let you. Chi Feng raised his eyebrows, how bold. Did Fish Liang give you this courage? The two policemen frowned and called their two colleagues to walk towards Shuziki. No, what are you doing? Don't touch me, or I'll sue you for molestation. But her threats were of no use, and she was picked up by 2 policemen and taken aside. Chi Feng shook his head helplessly. Why do some women always think they can solve problems by playing dirty? Comrade police, let's go in. Chi Feng didn't want to delay any further, as it had already greatly delayed his blind date. The emotional values provided by Shuziki can only be considered as snacks. The other members of the Shu family looked at this scene with heavy expressions, knowing that the plan had failed. Emotional value plus 500. Shuziki, who was carried away, looked uncomfortable. Chi Feng was so cruel. You're useless. You can't even control yourself as a man. You've been dating him for so many years. Shu Chen looked at his sister with disgust. What a waste. Who are you scolding? If it wasn't for buying a car for you, would your parents increase the betrothal gift? Would Chi Feng leave me? It's all your fault. Shuziki was so angry with his younger brother that he finally couldn't help it and started to curse. Har har, I just asked my parents to buy me a car. I didn't ask them to increase the betrothal gift. This is all your decision, right, Mom and Dad? Shu Chen sneered and looked at Shu's father and mother. Yes, son, it was our own decision. Mother Shu nodded with a smile, then her expression darkened and she blamed him. Zichi, how can you say that about your brother? He is the only child of our Shu family. It was our own decision to increase the betrothal gift. Isn't it because you haven't been nice to Chi Feng all these years? Otherwise, why would he not remember the old friendship and even be unwilling to reconcile with you privately? But you were the ones who asked me to lie. You were the ones who said Chi Feng would miss our old friendship. That ghost didn't know you would be so useless. When the police ask you about it, don't give us away. Shu Chen curled his lips. Yes, you must not mention us. You decided to lie all by yourself. Daughter, when Chi Feng comes out, you should apologize sincerely and try to get his forgiveness. Shuziki felt like she was falling into an icy cave when she saw the indifferent faces of the 3 people. Chapter 13, Depend on you, I'm going to marry into your family. Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Chi. The evidence you provided can fully prove your innocence. No, police comrade, this is what I should do. Chi Feng smiled and shook his head, but for that lady's lying and slander, I hope she can be punished. Don't worry, Mr. Chi Feng. Based on the lady's behavior, she has been detained and fined. Okay, police comrade, thank you for your help. Chi Feng knew that detention and fines were the limit, but it was enough. This is the punishment she deserves. Walk out of the interrogation room. Chi Feng instantly felt for pairs of gazes, looking at him passionately. That was a greedy look. Shuziki stood up immediately and was about to rush towards Chi Feng. But the policeman's voice made her freeze. Ms. Shuziki, right. Because you made a false report to the police and obstructed public service, you are now detained for a period of 5 to 10 days and fined 500 yuan. No, I'm not lying. Shuziki shook her head frantically. She knew that what was coming had finally come. Mr. Chi Feng has provided sufficient evidence, but you have no evidence to prove it. During the initial investigation, the police asked Shuziki to produce relevant shopping proofs. However, Shuziki said that it was lost, but she was sure that she bought it. She insisted on calling the police and said that she would be responsible for her actions. Feng, I was wrong. I did this just to find you. You still love me, right? I know you are just angry. Shuziki was completely panicked, rushed to Chi Feng, and said with hope on her face. But the only response she got was Chi Feng's 2 cold words, who are you? Emotional value plus 500. Emotional value plus 1000. Shuziki was stunned. Feng, don't be angry. I will treat you well in the future. I don't want the betrothal gift, okay? Now Chi Feng is her only life-saving straw. She just realized that it was Chi Feng who had always been the best to her. And Chi Feng now has more than 2 million, so even if he doesn't ask for a dowry, he can still live a very comfortable life. Because this money belongs to Chi Feng and also to him. As for my younger brothers, since they don't care about me, why should I ask for money for them? The other 3 members of the Shu family suddenly opened their eyes. This guy actually dares not to ask for a dowry. Zichi, what do you mean? Can you decide the bride price alone? We raised you so much, is this how you repay us? Shu's mother and father became anxious and questioned directly. This is my love. You parents have no reason to interfere. If I say no, then I don't want it. Shuziki had a tough look on her face, but her eyes kept glancing at Chi-Fong. She said all this for him to hear. But Chi-Fong still had no expression on his face. Comrade police officer, can I go now? If Shuziki had said these words a few days ago, he might have been very touched, but now it's too late. Sure, Mr. Chi-Fong. Good. Chi-Fong nodded and walked straight out of the police station. Emotional value plus 200. No, Fong, you can't just leave like this. I really know I was wrong. Shuziki was about to stop Chi-Fong, but was stopped by the police. You can't leave, you have to sign. Can I not sign this? I don't want to be detained. Shuziki looked at Chi-Fong's back and was very anxious. Chi-Fong left this time and she didn't know when they would meet again. If you have any objections, you can apply for a review, but you must provide a guarantor or pay a deposit of 200 a day. Reconsideration, I want a reconsideration. Shuziki did not hesitate. Okay, come here and sign. You can't leave. You are family members. The other members of the Shu family wanted to follow Chi-Fong, but were also stopped by the police. Comrade police officer, we didn't lie, just let her stay here alone, said Shu's mother, forcing a smile. It's not up to you to decide whether it's a lie or not, come here. The police shouted coldly. The Shu family could only watch helplessly and anxiously as Chi-Fong's figure disappeared from their sight. Their plan failed. Shuziki's eyes were filled with despair. How could Chi-Fong be so cruel? Emotional value plus 1000. Emotional value plus 1200. Chi-Fong walked out of the police station with a slight smile on his face. This woman is still useful. It actually gave him an emotional value of 9,800. It's almost 10,000. This is a pleasant surprise. However, compared with real women in their 80s, there is still a big gap. Chi-Fong glanced at the time and found that he still had time for the blind date. Chi-Fong quickly hailed a taxi and drove towards the agreed location. In fact, when he went out, he didn't call the other party. I was originally prepared to stand the other party up, but I didn't expect the police to handle the matter so quickly. Fortunately, I'm not late. Chi-Fong hurried to the coffee shop. There were not many people there. After taking a quick look, he frowned slightly because he did not see his blind date. Love comes early. Chi-Fong had no choice but to find a seat and sit down. He took out a magazine, opened it and spread it out on the table. This was the secret signal they agreed upon. Then, smelling the bitter smell of coffee in the air, Chi-Fong sighed slightly. He didn't know why people nowadays like to drink coffee. He can't drink iced Americano at all. If he hadn't had to work overtime frequently in the past, he really wouldn't have drunk such a bitter thing. After ordering a sweeter cappuccino, Chi-Fong waited quietly. The time they agreed on was 5 o'clock, and there were still 5 minutes left. 5 minutes later. 10 minutes later. Half an hour later. Chi-Fong looked at the call that still could not be connected, frowning. What was this woman doing? Just as he was about to leave, a woman in a black dress suddenly sat down in front of him. Revealing her fair and delicate collarbone, the skirt should be off-shoulder, but at this time she is wearing a plush coat over it. You must be Chi-Fong, right? Sorry, there was a small accident during my live broadcast just now, so I am late. Luo Wanyu apologized lightly. Chi-Fong looked at the woman in front of him. Although she had a good figure, her body under her coat was curvy and a little plump. Although the makeup on her face is thicker, it may be because of the mature style, which gives it a unique flavor. At this age, she can have this kind of mature feminine charm. No wonder the system scored 82 points. However, the tone was still cold. Although it was an apology, Chi-Fong still felt uncomfortable listening to it. Are all women with some careers like this? It's okay, it was an accident. I understand. Please introduce yourself first. My name is Chi-Fong, I'm an only child, 26 years old, no job and no house or car. Luo Wanyu was slightly stunned and looked at Chi-Fong in surprise. She didn't expect Chi-Fong to be so honest. They are all VIP members of the dating website, and their annual fees are over 10,000 yuan. Logically speaking, those who can afford to spend this money should all be high-quality men. Why would they not have a car or a house right from the start? Emotional value plus 1,000. Chi-Fong narrowed his eyes. As expected of a woman with a score of 82, this slight surprise was worth 1,000 points of emotion. Well, what do you think will be guaranteed for our married life? Luo Wanyu frowned slightly. Depend on you, I'm going to marry into your family. Chapter 14. Didn't you say that men and women are equal? Okay, stop joking, be serious, and let me tell you my request first. Luo Wanyu frowned, a little dissatisfied, because she felt like Chi Feng was teasing her. My name is Luo Wanyu, I am also 26 years old this year, and I am an independent self-media blogger. First, the salary must be higher than mine. My current monthly salary is 4,000 yuan on average, which is 5,000 yuan including commissions, which is enough for a girl. But you have to be 3 times higher than me, at least 15,000. Secondly, you must have a house in the city center and a car that costs at least 1 million yuan. As for the gift, I don't ask for much, 500,000 yuan will be enough. Third, you need to have at least 5 million in savings, because I will help you give birth to a child, which will delay my career, and you must help me resume my live broadcast career after giving birth. Fourth, and most importantly, respect me. Men and women are equal now, so you must respect my work and my wishes. Bite. Goal requirement success. The position of business manager of Haidar Sales Company requires 3,000 points of emotional value. Vank, Dragon Rising and Tide Roaring is worth 8.9 million yuan for a house. The required emotional value is 70,000 points. Note, when there are repeated unredeemed requirements of the same type, only one can be stored. Please select it in time, otherwise the system will automatically replace it with a requirement of lower value. A Mercedes-Benz S-Class worth 1.3 million, 12,000 points. 500,000 yuan in betrothal money, required emotional value to exchange, 5,000 points. 5 million renminbi, required exchange emotion value, 40,000 points. Chi Feng's eyes narrowed instantly, and the corners of his mouth raised. It's finally here. The system's emotional value, not counting the one just obtained, is already over 238,000 points. But before that, there are only 2 requirements for redemption. Apart from the company worth hundreds of millions, there is only one house that can be exchanged. It only requires 40,000 emotional points. The requirements for redemption are really too few. But now there are more and more of them. However, only one request of the same type can be stored. Chi Feng did not hesitate and directly replaced Tianqing Palace. The house left behind was called Vanklongqi Chaoming, a high-end residential complex that anyone who has stayed in Shanghai City for some time would have heard of. Avatar Palace is just a little brother in front of it. Chi Feng also didn't plan to spend 40,000 emotion points to exchange for Tianqing Palace first, because that house was of no use to him. It would be better to save the 40,000 emotion points. You can state your request now. Luo Wanyu's voice interrupted his thoughts. Chi Feng smiled, cleared his throat, and said, my requirements are not high. I hope you have a car and a house, because I don't. My requirements for a house and a car are not high, just a medium-sized one will do. After all, the quality of life after marriage cannot be too bad. Although I don't have a job, I have a temporary position that pays me 5,000 yuan a month. As for your salary, I want 10,000 plus yuan so that our life after marriage will be guaranteed. So I hope you can work hard and make progress. But since you're a female anchor, your job may not be very stable, so you'd better have 2 million in savings. And I have to be filial to my parents. There are no other big requests. Emotional value plus 10,000. Luo Wanyu opened his mouth wide and looked at Chi Feng in disbelief. This was the first time in her life that she had seen such an outrageous man. That is not a big ask. Could it be that what he just said was not a joke? No, are you kidding me? How can you go on a blind date like this? What's wrong with me dating like this? You don't have a job, a house, or a car. Why do you dare to make such an outrageous request? Why can't I ask for that? You can ask for so much with 5,000, but I can't ask for 5,000. Are you ashamed to be paid only 5,000 yuan as a man and not even have a car or a house? Emotional value plus 8,000. Luo Wanyu was also convinced. How could she meet such a mean man? Why should I be embarrassed? That's why I said from the beginning that I want to marry into the family. If I have the ability, a car and a house, then why would I marry into the family? Chi Feng said calmly. Emotional value plus 8,000. Luo Wanyu's expression froze, and then she cursed with disgust, you're really sick. This is the first time I've seen a man want to marry into her family. Chi Feng narrowed his eyes. What's wrong with a man marrying into their wife's family? Is there a law that prohibits a man from marrying into their wife's family? Oh. The law doesn't stipulate that, but I look down on you as a man with no ability at all. Luo Wanyu sneered and said disdainfully. Emotional value plus 7,000. You make 4,000, but you can ask for a man who makes 15,000. I make 5,000, so it's not too much for me to ask you for 10,000, right? What qualifications do you have to look down on me? Chi Feng tilted his head back, his eyes indifferent. Because I'm a girl, it's normal for girls to have lower salaries. Oh? You just said that men and women are equal? Where is the equality between men and women that you are talking about? Or do you just want equality in your own interests? Then you are really a double standard dog. Emotional value plus 10,000. Luo Wanyu's face suddenly turned gloomy and his eyes were fixed on Chi Feng. You're talking nonsense. After marriage, we girls have to help you men bear children. This is such a dangerous thing. What's wrong with us asking for more? You don't have to have a baby. I didn't say I had to have one. I think you can have one if you want. I'm already my wife's family, so it doesn't matter if the baby has your last name. Chi Feng looked at Luo Wanyu with a sidelong glance, the corner of his mouth slightly raised, and his tone was contemptuous. Emotional value plus 19,000. Luo Wanyu felt as if a breath was stuck in his chest. He felt extremely uncomfortable and his expression began to become somewhat ferocious. You guys can't have kids, so we girls have to give birth to kids to carry on your family line. Chi Feng still said calmly and slowly. But you can't have children without a boy. And I'm not forcing you to have children. If you want to have children, then I'm cooperating with your family to continue the family line. So why can't I ask for more? Only you girls can have high expectations, but we boys can't, right? You really are a double standard dog. It has been like this for thousands of years. It's normal for us girls to have high demands. You, a man, are a psychopath. Luo Wanyu's breathing became rapid. That's because men and women were unequal in the past. What era is this now? You said it yourself. Men and women are equal. Besides, in ancient times, there were also people who married into their wife's family, and they even asked you, the woman, to give a gift. I didn't even ask for a gift from you, so I'm at a disadvantage. Chi Feng shook his shoulders and said jokingly. You are a psychopath. You are useless as a man and yet you still ask a woman to support you. You will be a bachelor your whole life. You are such a shame. Luo Wanyu roared. Yo, anxious. Chi Feng raised the corner of his mouth, knowing that Luo Wanyu was already angry and embarrassed. Emotional value plus 25,000. Emotional value plus 25,000. Chi Feng was so happy that he almost smiled as he listened to the reminders of his emotion value ringing in his mind. It's time to exchange some things and harvest the second wave of emotional value. Bite. Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for winning 5 million renminbi, which has been deposited into their host's bank card. Bite. Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for winning 500,000 renminbi, which has been deposited into their host's bank card. The exchange was successful. Congratulations to their host for winning a house worth 8.9 million yuan in Vanklong Kichaoming. It is being delivered. Chapter 15. A familiar plot unfolds. Chi Feng did not exchange for that position, even though the salary was 15,000 yuan. But it's not affiliated, so I still have to go to work. Isn't this just working for others? I just resigned from my job not long ago, so it is impossible for me to find a job. He did not exchange for the Mercedes-Benz S-Class because he already had a similar car. There is no need to buy another one for the time being. I will exchange it when I return to my hometown. Then I gave the Land Rover to my dad, as that car would be easier to drive in the countryside. I drove the Mercedes-Benz S-Class back to the city. I'm just a little curious, how will the system deliver in the countryside? If it is in Antarctica, how is it delivered? However, Luo Wanyu's voice broke Chi Feng's thoughts. You are the one who is anxious. A man like you who has no future can only talk big and marry into the family. No one would be interested in you. Emotional value plus 20,000. Luo Wanyu's voice became sharp, no longer caring about her initial image. Chi Feng looked at her with amusement. Her emotion value had not yet exceeded 30,000. It seems there is still room for improvement. It hasn't collapsed after all. I have no future. Then you have a future. You only make 5,000 yuan a month like me, and you don't have a car, a house, or savings, but you shamelessly demand such good conditions from a man. My requirements are not as high as yours, but you say I have no future. I want to ask, what's your reason? Is it because your face is made up thicker than the soles of your shoes? Chi Feng's voice was not loud, but it was very powerful. To Luo Wanyu's ears, it sounded like a nail. Luo Wanyu's face instantly turned red, and her blood rushed to her head. Emotional value plus 30,000. Emotional value plus 32,000. Well, then I am better than a spineless person like you, who deliberately spent 10,000 yuan on that dating website just to live a life of luxury without any effort at all. People like you are the scum of the country, parasites, and have made no contribution at all. Luo Wanyu almost stood up from her chair. Because of her superior looks and figure, she had never been scolded like this since she was a child. The man in front of her was the first one to scold her like this. I am a scum of the country. Are you sure you have made greater contributions to the country than I have? Although Chi Feng didn't know how the system purchased these assets, if he didn't want to attract the attention of the country, he had to pay taxes. Now that I have to pay taxes, given the assets I have exchanged at the moment, the taxes won't be a small amount. How could someone with Luo Wanyu's tax-free salary make as much contribution to the country as he does? As Chi Feng finished speaking, a waiter suddenly came to his side and said, Sir, could you please be quiet? This is a coffee shop, and loud noises are not allowed. Chi Feng frowned slightly. He had been paying attention to controlling the volume just now because the other party chose to have the blind date indoors. From the very beginning, Luo Wanyu's voice has always been louder than his. Girls' voices are shriller, and Luo Wanyu's appearance is more attractive. He had just noticed that almost everyone in the cafe was looking at them. That lady's voice is obviously louder than mine, right? Why didn't you remind her? The waiter was stunned. He didn't expect Chi Feng to ask him a question in return. Need I say more? It must be because the girl opposite is pretty. Sir, the other party is a lady after all. What's wrong with ladies? Do ladies have privileges? Chi Feng now understands why there are more and more fairies in today's society. In addition to the brainwashing of toxic chicken soup on the internet, there is also the connivance of people like this waiter. Let these little fairies think that their only responsibility is to be beautiful. It is men's job to make money and support the family, so men should also pay for them. The waiter frowned. This man was so ungraceful. Sir, as men, it doesn't matter if we are poor, but we should be more generous and not be petty. The waiter had been listening for a long time and had a general understanding of the situation. The two were on a blind date. The man was poor and could not meet the woman's requirements, and she even made some demands. He. Chi Feng couldn't help laughing. Handsome guy, you're right. Men should be more generous, unlike some people who have no ability at all and are still so stingy. Luo Wanyu raised her chin. The appearance of the waiter gave her confidence again. This is a normal man. Thank you, pretty lady, it's an honor to have your compliments. The male waiter smiled happily and bowed slightly in a very showy way. TSK, there really are bootlickers everywhere. Chi Feng shook his head helplessly. Although the dog-licking economy has been said to have collapsed recently, it will still take some time to completely eliminate the idea after such a long period of operation by capitalists. Just at this moment, a middle-aged woman in a business suit walked into the cafe with an anxious look on her face. Chi Feng knew that his house was coming. The system still uses such a simple and crude method. But he likes it. Sure enough, after the middle-aged woman took a glance at the coffee shop, she immediately spotted Chi Feng. Her eyes lit up and she walked towards Chi Feng. You said I don't have the ability. Then open your dog eyes and watch carefully. Just when Luo Wanyu and the waiter were confused, a middle-aged woman came into their sight. Hello, Mr. Chi Feng. I'm from the sales department of Vang's Dragon Rising and Tide Ming. You have completed all the formalities for purchasing a house worth 8.9 million yuan. Here are the relevant documents for the house. Wan leanly respectfully handed a file bag to Chi Feng. Emotional value plus 35,000. Emotional value plus 35,000. Luo Wanyu took a deep breath and his pupils trembled. She must have heard it wrong. Vank Dragon Rising and Tide Roaring. That is absolutely the city center, a super golden area, the dream house of all office workers in Shanghai City, and the ideal house type for mother-in-law. It can be said that owning one set is equivalent to owning success. And the man in front of me who was going to marry into the family actually bought a house there. Are you kidding? The male waiter's face also froze. He just called him a poor guy. Okay, thank you for your hard work. Chi Fong nodded. He was still very polite to normal women. It's not hard, Mr. Chi. This is all my job. Our manager was supposed to come, but she had something else to do and couldn't leave, so she asked me to take her place. She said she would come to visit in person next time. Wan leanly smiled brightly. This is a mysterious big client. Her manager said that it was an order from the senior leaders above. All the procedures must be completed as quickly as possible and the real estate certificate must be delivered to the other party. There cannot be any delay. Even if you can't establish a relationship, it's still good to show your face, just in case the other party wants to buy a house next time. No. Impossible, it must be fake. Luo Wanyu snatched the file bag and was about to open it. Wan Leanly's smile froze. How could this woman be so rude? She was about to scold her, but was stopped by Chi Fong. What Chi Fong wants is to shock the other party. Emotional value plus 40,000. Luo Wanyu looked at the name on the property certificate and fell into his chair. His expression was as if he had seen a ghost. It's true. Chi Fong really owns a house worth 8 or 9 million. Chapter 16. You are ugly and flat. You are old and fat. Luo Wanyu held the property certificate and looked at the information on the official website on his mobile phone. Looking at Chi Fong's name above, I feel it is very glaring. I was just mocking him for being a poor and useless person. As a result, the other party's South real estate certificate was delivered directly to me. Based on the information on this official website, there is no way to act even if you want to. So now, who is a loser, who has made no contribution to the country, and who is a parasite? Chi Fong asked jokingly, his hands crossed at the corners of his mouth. Luo Wanyu opened his mouth, but in the end nothing came out. The plot twist was so fast that she couldn't accept it for a while. The property certificate from the other party has blocked all her words. No matter what she says, it will be useless. Here's my savings. You can guess how many cards like this I have. Chi Fong took out his cell phone again, opened the balance and placed it in front of Luo Wanyu. Emotional value plus 35,000. 7, more than 7,800,000. Gurgle. Luo Wanyu swallowed his saliva, his eyes filled with heat. With the money in this card, based on her current sales performance, she may not be able to make that much money even if she sells for another 100 years. Mr. Chi, I actually think what you said makes sense. If we are pursuing gender equality, then girls should not have such high demands. Luo Wanyu forced a flattering smile, put the real estate certificate and other things back into the file bag, and then walked to Chi Fong's side. Mr. Chi, I actually think we are a good match. No matter what you like, I can satisfy you. When Luo Wanyu handed the file back to Chi Fong, she wanted to rub Chi Fong's hand with one hand, but Chi Fong dodged it. Please answer my question, who is it? Chi Fong would never let this woman take advantage of him. This expression changes as fast as turning the pages of a book. At the same time, he also knew that he could no longer squeeze anything out of Luo Wanyu. Like John Layer, they were both shameless. All they care about is money. Their dignity and backbone will adjust themselves according to the amount of your wealth. Brother Chi Fong, I didn't really want to argue with you just now. Can we just date slowly from now on? Luo Wanyu stretched out his hand to grab Chi Fong's arm, but Chi Fong dodged it again. Who is the Bora? Chi Fong's tone turned cold. This woman just spoke without restraint. I am. Luo Wanyu was so flustered by Chi Fong's gaze that she stammered at last. Emotional value plus 20,000. Chi Fong narrowed his eyes slightly, and his emotion level began to drop. It was almost time to finish it. Emotional value plus 2,000. Suddenly, a voice sounded in his mind, which made Chi Fong stunned for a moment. What was going on? Why is there such a big gap? Given Luo Wanyu's current condition, it is impossible for his emotion value to be 2,000. Chi Fong. But a sudden scream made him realize how the emotion value of 2,000 came about. How did this guy appear here? Chi Fong looked at Shuziki, who was running towards the entrance of the coffee shop like a 100-meter sprint. Eyes full of surprise. Chi Feng, okay, no wonder you are so cruel to me, it turns out you have a mistress outside, right? Shuziki clenched his fists tightly and looked at Luo Wanyu with fire in his eyes. Emotional value plus 3,000. It has nothing to do with you. We have broken up. Chi Feng frowned, he didn't know when the waiter ran away. But the other customers in the cafe were already looking at him unscrupulously. He was a little puzzled as to how Shuziki found him. Logically speaking, he should have taken a taxi here directly after leaving the police station, so the police would have been able to find him so quickly. Besides, shouldn't she be detained? I don't agree, the breakup is invalid. Shuziki said through gritted teeth. It's up to you. We've broken up anyway. Don't bother me anymore. I can't afford your Shu family. Chi Feng calculated the emotional value. That's about 365,000 sentiment points. The target emotional value requirement has been reached. This set of small combos for harvesting emotion points is still very effective. It's almost time to leave. Otherwise, Chi Feng will be pestered by these two women and feel that he won't be able to go home tonight. As for why Shuziki was not detained, he was too lazy to know the reason. Chi Feng, stop right there. I've already said sorry to you so many times, why don't you forgive me? Shuziki suddenly stopped Chi Feng, then quickly opened her hands and said with red eyes. Coupled with Shuziki's cute appearance, she really does look pitiful. Emotional value plus 5,000. But this was of no use to Chi Feng, who had already given up hope. He knew Shuziki's character very well. A prodigal son who returns is worth more than gold, but there are also successful cases of prodigal sons who return. Chi Feng didn't want to gamble because he no longer had feelings for Shuziki. Because when you increased the betrothal gift even though you knew I was penniless and needed to borrow money, my love for you was already dead. Emotional value plus 5,000. Shuziki staggered back 2 steps, feeling a pain in her heart. She could never go back to the life she had before. Stretch out your hand for clothes and open your mouth for food. Just lie on the sofa every day. After Chi Feng finished speaking, he no longer looked at the two of them and walked out of the coffee shop. Real estate salesperson Wan leanly followed immediately. Luo Wanyu looked at Chi Feng's back, and her woman's intuition told her that there must be a story between Chi Feng and this woman. But soon, he felt something was wrong. He had already admitted that he was a parasite and had lost face. He had to hook up with Chi Feng. Brother Chi Feng, wait for me. Luo Wanyu picked up her bag and prepared to follow. But a figure suddenly blocked her way. It's the girl just now. What are you doing? Luo Wanyu frowned. You can't call Chi Feng brother. I won't let you get close to Chi Feng. Shuziki said seriously. Since she now has little hope, she must not let other women get close to Chi Feng. After Chi Feng broke up with me, he immediately found a woman. This shows that Chi Feng is still feeling very upset, otherwise why would he look for a woman so quickly? Isn't it to heal the pain in his heart? If you reject me now, you must still be angry. As long as I behave better, Chi Feng will definitely change his mind. It's funny. Who are you? Why don't you let me get close to you? Luo Wanyu looked Shuziki up and down with a disdainful expression. You look so-so, and your figure is so-so. No wonder brother Chi Feng kicked you out. You don't have any feminine charm at all. After saying that, he deliberately twisted his body. Shut up, you old woman, you're old and fat. Shuziki was not a pushover either, and started cursing directly. Luo Wanyu's face darkened. She hated it most when people said she was old and fat. You're ugly and flat. You're old and fat. You're ugly and flat. You're old and fat. It was not known who started the fight first, but the two women ended up fighting. This made the people who stayed in the cafe very happy. Women fighting is the most interesting. Chapter 17, The review is invalid, direct detention. Null. Chapter 18, The woman with 90 points appears. Chi Feng arrived at the exhibition quickly, watching the people coming in and out of the exhibition entrance. To be honest, this was the first time he had seen something like this. In the past, he would either work overtime on weekends or go shopping with his girlfriend. He had no space for himself at all, let alone look at things that only idle people and rich people have time to tinker with. But he was not in a hurry to go in because the other party should be here soon. Mr. Chi, I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting for so long. Just as I finished thinking, He Ching's voice sounded behind me. Chi Feng turned around and his eyes couldn't help but light up. She was wearing a white long dress, a brown sweater, and her black hair fell naturally on her shoulders. The woman didn't wear any makeup, but her face was still stunning and beautiful. She was prettier than any woman he had seen so far. Especially the eyebrows and eyes, which give people a feeling of the charm of green mountains. Bite. An object with a score of 92 has been detected. Does their host consider it as the target? Identify. Needless to say, this is not enough. If you don't recognize it, you are a fool. He didn't expect He Ching to give him such a big surprise. He thought 80 points was enough, but he didn't expect to get 90 points directly. It's okay, I just got here too. The voice of the system also brought him back from his distraction and stopped him from staring at others. Mr. Chi, let me introduce you. This is my best friend Njiu. He Ching smiled slightly. She was still very confident about her best friend's appearance. Hello, Missin. Chi Feng greeted with a smile, having regained his calm expression. Hello, Mr. Chi. Njiu responded politely. She had a good feeling about Chi Feng, as the other person's eyes were not greedy. Then let's go in. After the two men greeted each other, He Ching took them into the painting hall. The two of you are chatting, I won't disturb you. He Ching knew that his role was over, so he left quickly after saying this, leaving Chi Feng and Njiu walking side by side. There were neither too many nor too few people in the exhibition, and most of the paintings were oil paintings. Although Chi Feng could not appreciate the artistry in these paintings, he could tell that they were very talented. Because the oil painting can be almost the same as the photo. On the other hand, Njiu never took his eyes off the paintings. This made him feel that Njiu was not here for a blind date. Missin, can you explain these paintings to me? So Chi Feng didn't rush to talk about the blind date. Okay, Mr. Chi. Njiu turned his eyes away from the painting, without showing any impatience, and said softly. The artist of these paintings is a hyperrealist painter named Zhao Jun. Well, you can understand the literal meaning of hyperrealism, which is very realistic. But its true meaning is to create an illusion of reality that cannot be seen by the eyes. But this is a little difficult to understand. Mr. Chi doesn't need to think so much. Okay, Missin. Chi Feng smiled and nodded. Njiu explained it very clearly. Although Zhao Jun's paintings are still a long way from being a true hyperrealist master, it is very impressive that he can reach such a level at his age. He is also a very famous figure in the domestic art world. Many of these paintings have won major awards at home and abroad. Njiu did not introduce the connotation of the painting in detail, but instead introduced the achievements of the painting and the work. Because to laymen like Chi Feng, these are obviously more interesting. So, Missin, the person you want is someone who likes painting as much as you do, or someone who has great achievements in painting? Chi Feng asked with a faint smile. Yes, if possible, I hope he is a super painting master, so that he can lead me to improve. Njiu nodded, and at the same time, her liking for Chi Feng increased a little. Because Chi Feng didn't pester me from the beginning. Instead, he chatted with me with great respect. So, if I were your partner, you would ask me to do this, right? Chi Feng joked. Emotional value plus 4,000. Njiu was stunned, and smiled. Yes, but it's a bit difficult, Mr. Chi. Bite. Goal requires success. World's top painting master skills. Exchange required emotion value 255,000 points. Note, because the emotional value required for special skills is difficult to estimate, this type of requirement requires half of the host's current emotional value. The system's voice arrived as promised. Chi Feng's mouth corners raised. Here we come. Chi Feng did not hesitate and exchanged it directly. Although it requires 255,000 emotional points from him at once. But acquiring the skills of a world-class painting master is obviously a good deal. However, this setting of the system does involve some gambling elements. If their subsequent special skills are relatively useless, it would be a real loss. But just don't exchange it then. And the woman who scored 90 points was so terrifying that she just smiled lightly. The emotion value increased by 4,000. How high would it be if it was shock, sadness, or joy? He felt that he could earn back the 250,000 emotion points quickly. Bite. Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for obtaining the world's top painting master skills, being delivered. As soon as the system's voice fell, waves of coolness rushed straight into Chi Feng's brain and body. It didn't last long. Chi Feng felt that he had become a completely different person. There was a lot of painting knowledge in his brain, as if he had started learning painting since he was a baby. My arms were extremely itchy and I really wanted to draw something. Mr. Chi, what's wrong? And Jiu saw Chi Feng was stunned and asked in confusion. It's okay, I just think it's a little difficult, but it shouldn't be impossible to achieve. Chi Feng resisted the urge to find a paintbrush and smiled. Mr. Chi, if you start learning now. And Jiu was halfway through his speech when he was suddenly interrupted by a deep voice. Hello, both of you. I am Zhao Jun, the author of these paintings and the organizer of the exhibition. A middle-aged man wearing a dark blue suit and gold-rimmed glasses, who looked very gentle, suddenly walked up to the two of them. Zhao Jun had just been watching Jiu for a long time. This woman was so beautiful and had such a cold temperament that he wanted to destroy her, possess her, and even paint a nude portrait of her. The man next to him didn't even know what hyperrealism was, so he didn't like it at all. I just observed from the side, and it seems that this lady is very knowledgeable about my paintings. Zhao Jun glanced at Chi Feng indifferently, and then focused all his attention on Jiu greedily. Jiu frowned slightly, and all the good impression she had towards Zhao Jun disappeared. A little bit. The smile on Jiu's face disappeared instantly. Then, would you be so kind as to let me show you around and personally introduce to you the meaning of my paintings? Zhao Jun showed a warm smile. As long as one understands painting, there will be no one in China who doesn't know him. It is even more impossible to refuse my invitation. Chi Feng looked at Zhao Jun's confident look. He narrowed his eyes, thinking that this man really didn't take him seriously. But I was just worrying about how to show off my painting skills, and now my face is presented to me. Then don't blame him for being rude. Chapter 19, Defeat him hard in the area where he is best. Well, sir, what I'm going to talk about may be very professional and you may not understand it. There is a lounge over there where you can take a rest. Zhao Jun suddenly turned his head and smiled at Chi Feng. He did this naturally to create a space for two of them. How could there be other people around when Zhao Jun was picking up girls? What if I say no? If Chi Feng agreed at this time, he felt that he would no longer be a man. This is right in front of you, and I want to take your girl. Or my blind date. Which man can accept such humiliation? Sorry, Mr. Zhao, we have something else to do, so we'll leave first. And Jiu wanted to leave. She didn't want Chi Feng and Zhao Jun to have a conflict here. What's up? Miss, I see you just came in. Please stay a little longer. My paintings need to be appreciated carefully. Zhao Jun stared at Jiu's face. Of course he would not let Jiu leave. He hadn't seen such a beautiful woman for a long time. Wait a minute, sir, you call these things on the wall paintings? Chi Feng suddenly stood in front of Jiu. What did you say? Zhao Jun frowned. At the age of 35, he is proud of his current achievements. At least in the field of art, he will not tolerate the ridicule of a guy who doesn't even know what hyperrealism is. I said that what's on your wall isn't worthy of being called a painting. Chi Feng raised the corner of his mouth and said jokingly. Emotional value plus 5,000. And Jiu looked at the tall figure in front of her and frowned slightly. She was very grateful to Chi Feng for helping her block the view. But after what Chi Feng said, she was worried that Chi Feng wouldn't be able to finish the matter. As an outsider, you don't know me, and I don't blame you. Zhao Jun shook his head with great contempt, as if he regarded Chi Feng as a little kid who knew nothing. But you said my paintings are not worthy of being called paintings. May I ask, what about your paintings? Just as Chi Feng was about to speak, he felt the corner of his clothes being pulled and turned around in surprise. I found that it was Jiu who was shaking his head at me with a smile on his face. Mr. Chi, thank you. Let's go. The paintings here are indeed very ordinary. Chi Feng smiled dumbly. Don't worry, missin, I can draw a little bit, even though it's not that good, but it's still better than this kind of childish graffiti. Har har har, what did I hear? Zhao Jun couldn't help laughing out loud. Those old guys in their 60s didn't dare to say that they could draw better than him, but this guy who looked 10 years younger than him actually said that he could draw better than him. Then do you dare to compete with me? If I win, you call me daddy 3 times, tell me I will never dare to do it again, then get out of here and never come near this lady again. Okay, what if I win? Chi Feng asked with a smile. Zhao Jun sneered, you can't win. That's not necessarily true. If I win, you have to yell, Dad, at me 3 times and then admit in front of everyone here that you are trash and your paintings are trash too. Chi Feng would not suffer a loss and give Zhao Jun a chance to take advantage of the loophole. Emotional value plus 8,000. And Jiu looked at Chi Feng's back and felt a little anxious. If it was a competition of money, Chi Feng might not lose to Zhao Jun, but if it was a competition of painting, there wouldn't be many people in the country who could be better than Zhao Jun. There are almost no people of Chi Feng's age. It's not that there are no geniuses in fine arts, but most art industries require accumulation. Although she and Chi Feng had only known each other for less than an hour, after all, they were introduced by her best friend, so they were considered friends, and he was also helping her out. No problem, I promise. Zhao Jun did not hesitate. With his strength, if he and Chi Feng still had to consider it, he would not have to stay in the art world. Moreover, whether in China or abroad, he had never seen a person named Chi Feng, and had never even heard of the great painter named Chi. Emotional value plus 10,000. And Jiu suddenly walked from behind Chi Feng to the front. Mr. Zhao, can I compete with you on his behalf? If you win, I'll treat you to a meal. Of course you can, but you have to ask him to apologize to me now. Zhao Jun's eyes lit up. Although it was just a meal, it gave him a lot of room to maneuver. Chi Feng looked at Jiu with some surprise. What a good girl. Not only does it provide you with emotional value, it also helps you. And Jiu frowned. She didn't expect things to become so troublesome today. Sudden. She felt a hand grabbing her shoulder, and then Chi Feng walked back in front of her. Okay, Missin, I told you, it's very easy to beat him. Since I said I will beat him, I will definitely beat him. Just wait and cheer for my victory. Chi Feng felt that his 2 arms were about to catch fire, as if they were the Chilean arms that had been suppressed for more than 20 years. Har har, I hope you won't cry for mercy later. Zhao Jun pushed his glasses and sneered. He was originally the protagonist of the exhibition, and with Jiu there, he instantly became the center of the exhibition, and a large number of people gathered around him. Mr. Zhao, what happened? Someone who had previously communicated with Zhao Jun asked in confusion. It's great that you're all here. I have a little game I'd like you to play. So I hope everyone will act as the judges of this bet and give us scores. Zhao Jun immediately told the crowd about the bet they had just made, and the crowd was instantly in an uproar. The look he gave Chi Feng was suddenly filled with all kinds of complicated expressions. There was disdain, contempt, shock, and even jealousy. Who is this person? I don't know him. Isn't this pure stupidity to actually compete with Mr. Zhao? But I do know the woman next to him. She's a small painter in Shanghai City. I went to see her exhibition a few days ago. Her art is quite good. That is indeed a perfect match for Mr. Zhao. Chi Feng was already used to the chattering in the crowd. He was also very panicked, because the people who said those words were only the few people in front, probably trying to please Zhao Jun. Most of the others were just watching the fun and didn't say anything. Go prepare the canvas. Zhao Jun didn't want to waste any more time and said to his assistant who came over. After a while. Everything is ready. There's no limit to the subject matter, no matter what type of painting you want to do, just paint whatever you want, and get started. Zhao Jun said disdainfully. Chi Feng looked at the canvas, paints, and various pens in front of him and felt as if they had life, as if they were a part of himself. He suddenly looked up and saw Jiu who had a sad face. The corners of his mouth curled up. He knew what to draw. These are not enough. Bring out all the tools and paints you brought. Zhao Jun frowned. What are you going to do? Ordinary paintings, these are enough for you. I want to paint hyper-realistic oil paintings. Emotional value plus 20,000. As soon as Chi Feng finished speaking, everyone's exclamations and the system voice in his mind sounded at the same time. This guy is crazy. If you want a hyper-realistic painting to be exquisite and perfect, it takes several months to paint. It's casual. It's almost impossible to complete a hyper-realistic painting in such a short time. I think this guy is here to cause trouble. In addition to this worry, Jiu was thinking, could it be that he only drew this kind of picture because he only told him about this one? And this is Zhao Jun's area of expertise. Zhao Jun was stunned for a moment, then he couldn't help laughing. He was indeed an amateur. Okay, assistant, give it to him, bring them all. He wanted to see what kind of monster this guy would draw in the end. Soon, there were many more tools in front of Chi Fong. Okay, let's start. Chi Fong could no longer hold back, and just one sentence made in Jiu's emotion level reach 20,000. He didn't dare to imagine how much emotion in Jiu would burst out when he showed his strength and was shocked to the climax. And he was going to defeat Zhao Jun severely in the field where he was best at. Let him understand the disparity in this world. Chapter 20. Chi Fong is the goal she strives for. Zhao Jun took the pen, glanced at Jiu, and immediately knew what to draw. He is a hyperrealist painter, so he knows how difficult it is to paint a good hyperrealistic painting. It is almost impossible to paint a good hyperrealistic painting in such a short time. But he can just paint ordinary realistic portraits. Not that realistic though. It's enough to deal with a young boy who knows nothing. And the portraits he painted with his own skills were much better than ordinary ones. And Jiu looked at Chi Fong with concern. She didn't know that she had become their model. My brain is still constantly thinking about what to do next. It was impossible for her to really let Chi Fong call Zhao Jun Dad 3 times. Coming here for a blind date was her best friend's choice. If this causes offending Chi Fong, it doesn't matter to me, I'm alone anyway. But my best friend is different, she also has a job. What to do? Emotional value plus 5,000. The sound from the system did not interrupt Chi Fong's observation and thinking of the hyperrealism painting. Every detail is extremely strict. But Chi Fong is confident, which comes from his absolute strength. When I closed my eyes for the last time, and Jiu's face appeared in my mind, and then I analyzed and peeled it off layer by layer, until they were put together again in the end. At this time, Chi Fong suddenly opened his eyes and his hands moved quickly. Emotional value plus 15,000. But Jiu immediately felt something was wrong, because Chi Fong's painting movements were not something that Xiaobai could do. It was clearly an action that showed experience. This Chi Fong really understands art. Emotional value plus 20,000. Emotional value plus 30,000. Emotional value plus 40,000. And Jiu's eyes were immediately fixed on Chi Fong, and then her pupils slowly dilated. The voice that kept ringing in his mind did not interrupt Chi Fong's actions. Because Chi Fong felt that his hands had become one with the brushes and paints, he was reluctant to stop. Every drop of paint applied to the canvas made Chi Fong feel extremely comfortable. This made him enjoy the painting process even more, and his eyes were only on the painting in front of him, nothing else. But the crowd watching was not as calm as he was. Almost everyone who came to the exhibition knew a little about painting. Chi Fong's movements, as well as his mixing of pigments and oils, were all very precise. It's not even a level that ordinary painters can achieve. No way, this person looks like he can really draw. Come on, it's probably just an act. It's not that hard to act out these actions. Our good work is the real deal. But to be honest, he looks so handsome when he's drawing seriously. The sounds of the onlookers also reached the ears of Zhao Jun. Zhao Jun turned his head and his face darkened. For some things, only your peers know how awesome you are. Zhao Jun is like this now. Although he is arrogant, he still has some ability. For Chi Fong's paintings, his brushstrokes, colors, composition, materials. Zhao Jun couldn't find any fault with it. A sense of crisis suddenly surged into Zhao Jun's heart. Impossible. This is impossible. This guy can't be that powerful. And Jiu also had the same idea as him. Her eyes almost never left Chi Fong, and they went from surprise to shock, and now she was completely immersed in Chi Fong's paintings. Every stroke of Chi Fong's brush seemed to be painted on her heart. So awesome. Emotional value plus 70,000. Now she knew why Chi Fong was so confident, because Chi Fong was really a master of painting. But he was still teasing himself and asking her some basic knowledge. Isn't this teasing her? Emotional value plus 80,000. And Ji's face turned red for no apparent reason, but she was soon attracted to Chi Fong again. Being able to watch a master painter create at such a close distance is a very rare experience, and she must learn well. At the same time, she thanked her best friend in her heart and said, how could her best friend sell herself out? It turned out that she had arranged everything long ago, and Chi Fong was the one who could guide her on the road of painting. The pen in Zhao Jun's hand suddenly became heavy, and he knew that he had to put in some real effort. The other party is here to pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger. But I am not a vegetarian. What's the use even if the movements look good? Their work is not just about good-looking movements. Zhao Jun took a deep breath. He didn't believe that someone could surpass him in hyper-realistic oil painting at such a young age. He also wants to draw hyper-realistic paintings. As time passed, the crowd of onlookers calmed down from being noisy at the beginning and became serious. This was the first time they saw Do Hua. And the surprise that the young man gave him was far greater than that of Zhao Jun. Just in terms of the state of painting, that young man is much better than Zhao Jun. Zhao Jun's face was very solemn now, and there was even a little sweat on his forehead. Chi Feng, on the other hand, acted like a performer. The brush in his hand was like an elf, dancing on the canvas. Emotional value plus 50,000. And Jiyu's breathing involuntarily followed Chi Feng's brushstrokes, as if she was also painting that picture. Is this the state where man and painting become one? And Jiyu thought of a very childish term, but it is perfect to describe Chi Feng now. Watching Chi Feng paint is a complete enjoyment. And she gradually understood what Chi Feng was painting, which was a portrait, but she was not sure who it was. Once people get serious, time will pass quickly, and painting is a time-consuming process. Before I knew it, an hour and a half had passed. The number of onlookers came and went, and the number didn't decrease much. But quite a few people were watching the whole process, and some even took out their mobile phones to start filming. At this time, He Ching was rubbing his neck, looking like he had just woken up, and looking at a group of people gathered together in a daze. What's going on? She came closer, and then her eyes opened as wide as bells. What the hell? Chi Feng was actually painting there. And her best friend was watching beside her? Isn't this the opposite? Also, who is the man next to him? Why are you painting too? Is this a competition? He Ching walked to Jiyu with a confused look on his face. Just as he was about to pat her shoulder, he froze. Because she saw what Chi Feng painted. That was a woman, a beautiful woman. It's her best friend Jiyu. She doesn't have to rely on certain characteristics to be recognized like other portraits. Because Chi Feng's paintings feel like they are just photos pasted on top. Gurgle. She swallowed, this was too realistic. And Jiyu was stunned that a surrealist oil painting could be completed in such a short time. Even as a small-scale portrait, this is very terrifying. The point is that it is still so realistic and exquisite. The fastest drawing she knew, one that wasn't bad, took 70 hours, and it was still not as good as Chi Feng's. Emotional value plus 80,000. From now on, Chi Feng is her goal. Chapter 21. The meaning of the past is to shape the future, not to trap the heart. Zhao Jun's eyes kept drifting towards Chi Feng, and his eyes behind the gold-rimmed glasses were already filled with shock. He would rather believe that he was mistaken than to believe that it was a painting that Chi Feng could draw. Only about 2 hours have passed since I started painting. However, Chi Feng's painting was already very complete. He also knew that the materials for both of them were in Jiyu, but he had only completed about 1/3 of it. If it was just a delay in progress, Zhao Jun wouldn't be so panicked. But more importantly, Chi Feng draws so well. Although it has not been completely completed, the expressiveness, vitality, and even emotion it has shown have already jumped out. He would not use the word realistic to describe Chi Feng's paintings, because that is just the most basic. Zhao Jun now wishes he couldn't paint and didn't understand painting, so he wouldn't be able to see how great Chi Feng is. No. I don't give up. Zhao Jun gritted his teeth and painted faster with the brush in his hand. How could he lose to an unknown guy? What's going on? He Ching patted her best friend's shoulder. As you can see, draw. And Jiyu said calmly, but her eyes did not leave Chi Feng. He Ching was also used to her bestie's way of speaking, so she continued to ask, of course I know it's about painting. What I'm asking is why I suddenly want to paint, and who is the man who paints with Mr. Chi Feng? He looks like a gentleman. His name is Zhao Jun. He came over to chat with me, and then we had a conflict. Zhao Jun. He Ching took out the ticket in his hand and looked at the name on it with shock. Isn't he the one you said was so powerful? Right. Then why do I feel like I can't even beat Mr. Chi Feng? Because Mr. Chi is more powerful. But didn't you say that there are few people in the country who are more powerful than Zhao Jun? Right. So Mr. Chi Feng is one of those few people in the country. He Ching opened his mouth wide. Although he guessed it, he was still very shocked. You know, Chi Feng is only 26 years old. For the art circle, it is extremely young. And Jiyu was already the youngest and best painter she had ever seen. But he was still just a small painter, not even famous, and the exhibitions he held were also very small. Compared with Zhao Jun's exhibition of this scale, it can only be regarded as a younger brother. Even if Jiyu reaches the age of 35, he may not be able to reach Zhao Jun's level. But even such a Zhao army was no match for Qi Feng. Who would believe this? She originally thought that Qi Feng was just an ordinary rich second generation, but now it seems that he is really capable. Almost all the onlookers shifted their attention to Qi Feng. Only a few of the people who had mocked Qi Feng at the beginning were still on Zhao Jun's side, but their faces were not very good either. They couldn't figure out who this Qi Feng was. The art world is actually very small. They knew almost all the painters, big and small, at home and abroad, but they didn't know there was such a person as Qi Feng. Qi Feng has such a high level and is so young, so logically, he should have become famous long ago. But time will not give people the chance to regret, it will only move forward forever. Qi Feng was immersed in his painting the entire time. All he had eyes for was the canvas in front of him, watching the colors slowly invade every corner and detail of the canvas. Finally, I don't know how much time has passed. He finally finished it. A peerless beauty appeared on the canvas. Even clearer than a photo. Her jet black hair falls naturally on her brown sweater, and her beautiful face makes every man yearn for her. But there seemed to be a hint of sadness between his eyebrows. Qi Feng put down his paintbrush and looked at his first work, thoughtfully. Emotional value plus 60,000. Mr. Qi. And Jiyu's pleasant voice and the system's voice sounded at the same time, interrupting Qi Feng's thoughts. Well, I'm done. Qi Feng nodded and looked at Jiyu. After acquiring top-level painting skills, Qi Feng understood what Jiyu said at the beginning. If it weren't for the painting, he wouldn't have noticed that there was actually sadness in Jiyu's eyes, but he hid it very well. However, during the painting process, I observed Jiyu's emotions. Jiyu took a deep breath and walked closer impatiently, ready to appreciate it carefully. But I just saw it for the first time. Emotional value plus 90,000. She was stunned. She was very clear about her past, but she had always buried the sadness deep in her heart. Many people just thought she was cold-hearted. But Qi Feng actually drew the sadness in her eyes. She suddenly turned her head and looked at Qi Feng, her eyes full of surprise. Qi Feng understood Jiyu's shock. As the person involved, how could he not notice it? He smiled slightly. I give this painting to you. I hope you can understand that the meaning of the past is to shape the future, not to trap your heart. He didn't know what Jiyu had been through, and this was all he could do. Emotional value plus 110,000. Jiyu's breathing stagnated. This was the first time in all these years that a man saw through her heart. My eyes gradually became sour. But she quickly took a deep breath and suppressed her tears. There were so many people here, she couldn't cry. Mr. Qi, I can't take this, it's too expensive. Jiyu shook his head. No matter from which angle you look at this painting, it can't be called a masterpiece, but it is definitely a top-notch work. At least in this exhibition, there is no painting better than this one. Although Qi Feng is not famous yet, after today, Qi Feng's name will definitely be known throughout the art circle. The price of a painting like this will definitely not be low. If I say I'm giving it to you, it means I'm giving it to you. Do you want your own photo to be bought by someone else? Or do you want me to take it home and hang it in my room? I'm not a pervert. Qi Feng raised the corner of his mouth and joked. But as soon as Jiyu opened her mouth, her best friend covered her mouth. Thank you, Mr. Qi Feng. I thank you on behalf of Xiaoyu. Fine. If Jiyu didn't want it, Qi Feng really didn't know what to do with this painting. And Jiyu contributed so much emotional value to her, just giving her a painting. Now that the ownership of the painting has been determined, it's time to deal with another matter. Qi Feng turned his head to look at Zhao Jun on the side and found that he had also stopped writing and his face looked very ugly. It's not that Zhao Jun doesn't want to continue painting, but he has only finished half of it. The people here are all experts, and he knows that he has already lost. The best paintings in his exhibition were not as good as the one in Qi Feng's hand. Even if he painted like this now, it still couldn't compare to it. Don't even use these people to rate it. I can extend the time. You can draw any time you want. I can wait. Chi Feng's tone was full of confidence, which was given to him by the system. Zhao Jun clenched his fists quietly, his face flushed. No, I can afford to lose. Dad. 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 I'm trash. My paintings are rubbish too. That's enough. Zhao Jun almost finished speaking with gritted teeth. His pride and arrogance would not allow him to cheat. After saying this, he immediately turned around and left. Without a pause. He is going abroad. Chi Feng looked at Zhao Jun's back and was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the other party was so tough. But there was nothing that could be done, as there were so many people here, and they all knew the content of the bet, and he had even introduced it himself. If you cheat, you will really have no chance of staying in the art circle. If we admit it now and operate it properly, we may even leave behind a good reputation as someone who is willing to accept defeat. Chi Feng smiled. Now comes the most important thing. System, check the remaining emotion value. Chapter 22, accept a disciple and get a stable long-term meal ticket. The basic information of the host is as follows: Happy Smiley. Name, Chi Feng. Gender, male. Special skills, world-class painting master. Remaining emotion value, 960,099. Unredeemed rewards: Happy Smiley. One of the Haulele Entertainment Company, the required emotional value for redemption, 800,000 points. The position of business manager of Haudar Sales Company requires 3,000 points of emotional value. A Mercedes-Benz S-Class worth 1.3 million, 12,000 points. 960,000 and 99,000. If you remove the decimal point, it would be 960,000. A total of 960,000. Before coming here it was about 510,000. But I still have to pay back the 255,000 I used to redeem the skills. In other words, Njiu provided him with approximately 705,000 emotional points. This is almost the same as the total of Luo Wanyu and Zhang Layer. And you have to know that Luo Wanyu and Zhang Layer were almost driven to emotional breakdown by his scolding. However, although Njiu's emotions fluctuated greatly, he had not yet reached the point of emotional breakdown. Is this the woman who scored 90 points? It's so terrifying. After Zhao Jun fled, Chi Feng and the other two were also preparing to leave, but the process of leaving was a bit difficult because countless people wanted to make friends with Chi Feng. Such a young master of painting will surely shock the art world in the future. Maybe he will become the leader of hyperrealism oil painting in China. There's no harm in making friends now. Finally, Chi Feng and the others managed to get away with great difficulty and finally found a relatively quiet restaurant to have dinner. After dinner, Mr. Chi, I'll ask you to take Xiaoyu home. He Qing waved with a smile on his face, then got into his car, stepped on the accelerator and drove away. Looking at the back of the car leaving, Chi Feng smiled and looked at Njiu next to him. Missin, you can only take my car. Excuse me, Mr. Chi. Xiao Qing has a rather eccentric personality. Njiu shook her head, then hesitated for a moment before saying, Mr. Chi, I'm not here for a blind date with you today. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I can see that you are here to see the exhibition. You are more interested in paintings than I am. But it doesn't matter. Just think of it as a friend. Chi Feng smiled and shook his head. It didn't matter whether it was a blind date or not, as long as the person was there. And people like Njiu can develop into long-term emotional value suppliers. Instead of throwing it away after use like the previous two. Thank you, Mr. Chi, but will you be able to report this to your family? Njiu said worriedly. He heard from He Qing that Chi Feng went out on a blind date because his family was pressuring him. It's okay. They are not pushing it too hard yet. But when they do, can you please pretend to be my girlfriend and meet my parents? Chi Feng smiled slowly. Emotional value plus 10,000. Njiu's pretty face blushed slightly. Because of family reasons, she has never been in a relationship. But if it was Chi Feng, she would be willing. Okay, Mr. Chi, as long as you ask. Chi Feng smiled slightly. It seemed that he had left a good impression in Njiu's mind. Okay, if you have any questions about art, you can always come to me. It seems that it can indeed develop into a long-term meal ticket. Okay, Mr. Chi, are you free tonight? Can you come to my house and sit for a while? Njiu's eyes suddenly became hot and he asked expectantly. Chi Feng raised his eyebrows. This easily made him think of bad things. A man and a woman are alone in the same room. Is this female bodhisattva trying to test her own concentration? She must not be allowed to succeed. I'm free. Night. Chi Fong and Njiu had an in-depth exchange, but only about painting. Whenever Njiu got close to him, the faint fragrance from her body drifted into Chi Fong's nose. Chi Fong always had some bad thoughts in his mind, but Njiu quickly responded with her sincere attitude towards art and her admiring eyes towards him. Make Chi Fong feel guilty. When someone talks to you about art, are you thinking about physical skills? However, Chi Fong did not gain nothing. In one night, Chi Fong gained another 150,000 emotion points. Today's emotional value is really profitable. Mr. Chi, thank you very much for your guidance. I don't know how to repay you. Njiu looked a little uneasy. When her desire for knowledge cooled down a little, she discovered a problem. There was no reason for Chi Fong to waste time teaching himself such valuable knowledge. And I have nothing to offer in return. It's just an exchange. There's nothing to be gained from it. If you really feel bad about it, you can become my disciple. Chi Fong certainly wasn't after Njiu's beauty, but he was looking for an opportunity to meet Njiu for a reasonable and long period of time. This is a 90-point woman. I am not sure whether I will meet you again in the future. Become a disciple. Njiu was stunned. Yes, that's right. After my master passed on his skills to me, he passed away. I also want to find an apprentice so that my master's inheritance will not be broken. Chi Fong nodded and said without blushing or beating his heart. Really? I'm old and my talent isn't that great. Njiu didn't feel embarrassed because Chi Fong was about the same age as her. Instead, she felt that she was not worthy of him. People like Chi Fong, who go out to recruit students, there are countless gifted geniuses who would beg to become his disciples. It doesn't matter. Who says you don't have talent? On the contrary, I think it's very good, because my master told me that as long as you have a sincere heart towards painting and art, that is the best talent. So you're willing to take me as your master? Chi Fong's lips curled up into a faint smile, his eyes full of encouragement. Njiu's expression suddenly became serious, and then he nodded heavily. I do. Chi Fong's eyes suddenly lit up, a long-term meal ticket was obtained. He suppressed his inner excitement and said calmly, okay. Master, please accept my disciple's greeting. Njiu suddenly knelt on the ground. Chi Fong was stunned. He didn't make Njiu kneel. When Njiu saw Chi Fong's confused expression, she knew she had made a mistake in kneeling. A blush quickly appeared on her cold face. I saw it done this way on TV. Emotional value plus 30,000. Chi Fong raised his eyebrows and said, that's a good kneeling. Hurry up and get up. I don't have so many rules here. Just get along normally from now on. Yeah, okay? Njiu stood up from the ground. Okay, that's it for today. The classes in the future are not fixed. I'll find you when I want to come to class. Of course, if you have any questions, you can also come to me. I'll send you my home address later. Chi Fong didn't want to have classes at a fixed time because that would make him less free. Maybe I will go to other places for blind dates in the future. I can't always pick on women in Shanghai City. Okay, teacher, I will study hard. Njiu nodded, then asked solemnly. Teacher, is Master Chi Baisha our ancestor? Chi Fong. Chapter 23, Teacher-Disciple Love is not bad either. At this time, remote rural areas of Shanghai City. In a slightly old house, Chi Jungwo sat under the dim light. He smoked with a sad face. Jungwo, why don't you talk to your son? That piece of land originally belonged to us. Cao Hong held a glass of water and placed it in front of her husband. No, my son just went through something like that and is feeling very down right now. Chi Jungwo shook his head and took a puff of his cigarette. After they returned to the village, they decided to listen to their son and build a house at home. Because it's easier to find a wife in the village this way. Then I went to the village chief to submit the application, and it had already been stamped. We went to the county town to complete the formalities, but were suddenly told that there was a problem with the procedures and the village application needed to be resubmitted. It would be fine if he just ran again, but when Chi Jungwo returned to the village, the application was not approved, and later we found out that the land had been taken away by the village chief's nephew. This made Chi Jungwo furious, and he was ready to ask the village chief for an explanation. But the other party didn't even let him enter the village committee. His nephew was even more arrogant. He said in front of him that anything the Wang family liked was nothing if they had their stamp on it. Even if the emperor came, it would all be theirs. This made him very angry, but he could do nothing about it. But my son will come back after a while. He will know about this matter sooner or later. He will definitely go to the other party to reason with him. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. The other party is the nephew of the village chief and the richest man in our village. I heard that he opened a big company outside and made tens of millions. What can you do? In my opinion, let's just forget about it and find another piece of land. Cao Hong said, somewhat discouraged. As long as the land issue is resolved before his son comes back, he may not find out. Well, that's all I can do. I'll talk to the village chief tomorrow. Chi Jungwo sighed. This was the only solution at the moment. After Chi Feng explained to Njiu that Chi Baisha was not his ancestor. I bought some daily necessities and then went to the rental house to pack my things. Went to the big house exchanged by my own system. When I left, I gave all the cardboard in the house to the landlady. Just consider it as a way of thanking her for her sparring during this period, which has greatly improved my skills. After arriving at your new home, put your things away. Chi Feng summed up today's gains in one word. Great harvest. Add the mood points gained tonight. His current emotional value has exceeded 1 million. The emotional value reached an astonishing 1.09 million. It is already possible to exchange it for that entertainment company, and there will still be a surplus of 290,000. When he thought of this, Chi Feng felt happy. System, exchange company. Chi Feng was feeling somewhat excited. After all, this was a company with assets worth hundreds of millions, and it would soon be his. Byte. Exchange successful. Congratulations to their host for winning a seat at the Haolele Entertainment Company, which is being delivered. Chi Feng raised his eyebrows. Can this be delivered? But nothing happened at the moment, so Chi Feng decided to take a shower first. Based on past experience, it will take some time. And just when Chi Feng was taking a shower, Haolele Entertainment Company is undergoing earth-shaking changes. The shares of all shareholders were transferred at the same time and then to Chi Feng's name. This process barely lasted long. It was as if all the procedures had been prepared a week ago. In the chairman's office, a middle-aged man was packing his things. After running the company for so many years, it was time to relax. Xiaoqian, come in. He shouted, and a young female secretary in professional attire came in. Thank you for working overtime tonight. All the shares should have been transferred. Go and deliver these procedures and documents to Mr. Chi. He will be your new boss from now on. Okay, boss. A trace of loneliness flashed across the young female secretary's eyes, but she didn't say much. She left the chairman's office with the file bag. After Chi Feng left, He Ching called her. Hey, how's it going, Xiaoyu, do you have a play? I have become Mr. Chi's disciple. Don't make jokes like this again. What? Master-disciple romance. And Jiyu. I'm dead. No, Xiaoyu, I was wrong. He Ching apologized quickly. He was somewhat surprised at the result of becoming his disciple, but it was reasonable. Xiaoyu, I think Mr. Chi is really good. He is young, rich, has a good personality, and most importantly, he can draw. Thank you, Xiaoqing. I am just an ordinary person, and Mr. Chi's identity is definitely not simple. I am not worthy of him. I am very lucky to be his student, and I am fine being alone now. Good fellow, you have a face that is so infuriating that you dare to say that you are an ordinary person. Do you think someone like Mr. Chi would be short of beautiful women? He Ching was stunned for a moment, and then he said after a while. Then you need to be more proactive. Let the past be the past. It's too lonely for you to be alone. We have to strive for a better life, right? Okay, I understand. I won't say any more. Okay, think about it carefully. And Jiu hung up the phone, walked to the portrait Chi Feng gave her, and was lost in thought. The purpose of the past is to build the future, not to trap the heart. After taking a shower, Chi Feng lay on the sofa, holding his mobile phone and looking for a design company. Now that the company has got it, it's time to go back to my hometown and discuss building a house with my parents. Ding dong. The doorbell suddenly rang. Chi Fong knew that it must be someone from the Haolele company who had arrived. Because the only one who knew his address was in Jiu, but she couldn't come now. Open the door. A female secretary in professional attire stood outside the door. Hello, Mr. Chi, I am the secretary to the chairman of Haolele Entertainment Company. You can call me Xiaoqian. The female secretary had a sweet voice, but was a little surprised because Chi Fong looked a little too young. Okay, come in. Chi Fong nodded calmly, but he quickly shouted in his mind. System, rating. Byte. Overall score, 78 points. Oh, what a pity. There was a hint of regret in Chi Fong's eyes. How could it be so close again? This female secretary is obviously good looking. Sit down on the sofa. Mr. Chi, these are all the documents regarding the transfer of shares and company, as well as information about the company's artists. Please take a look. Chen Chen handed the file bag to Chi Fong. Chi Fong took it and started reading it. After pretending to look through it, he put it aside. He believes in the system's capabilities and that there will be no problems. Tomorrow morning, I will go to the company to understand the situation, and then have a meeting in the afternoon. Chi Fong said lightly. After all, this is his first company, so he still needs to understand the company's situation. Okay, Mr. Chi, can we set the meeting time at 2 p.m.? Can. Chen Chen talked a little more about company matters. Chi Fong picked up the artist's information. Chi Fong frowned as he kept flipping through the pages. The artists in this company were all quite young, and it seemed like they were training teenagers to become idols. He didn't know any of them. It wasn't until the very end that Chi Fong finally found a female celebrity he knew. Zhang Yuqi? He knew this female star, but he had met her through Shuziki before. This is a star that Shuziki is chasing after. Shuziki also showed him a few of her Weibo posts. The one that impressed him the most was that she said being an actor is a high-risk profession, and she also cursed all men. System, rate her score. Byte. Zhang Yuqi's system comprehensive score is 83 points. Chi Fong narrowed his eyes, he smelled the scent of emotional value. Chapter 24. He is an actor indeed, he is good at acting. Although it only reached 83 points. But it is enough, as long as the system can be bound. It seems that this female star's personality and character are really not that good, otherwise a relatively popular female star would only score 83 points. Only a few points higher than an ordinary female anchor and female graduate student. Chi Fong tapped his fingers lightly, and a plan came to his mind. I started to send a message to Chen Chen with my mobile phone and learned that Zhang Yuqi had finished work and would be returning to Shanghai City tonight. Chi Fong then asked Chen Chen to arrange a blind date between himself and Zhang Yuqi, saying that it was a program that the company suddenly thought of. The next morning, Chi Fong got up in the morning for a rare occasion, and then drove to Haolele Entertainment Company. It is a small rented building. After all, the artists in the company need dance studios and other rooms for training, and ordinary office buildings do not have such a large space. When Chi Fong walked into the company, he heard two receptionists whispering. Have you heard? The entire company has been sold to a new owner. Of course I heard about it. Even Zhang Yuqi deliberately postponed her schedule just to come back and meet the new boss. So it was to meet the new boss. I thought it was because of the new program that was suddenly arranged for her today. How is that possible? With her bad temper, this last-minute program will definitely be delayed. Chi Fong coughed and interrupted the gossip of the two receptionists. The two receptionists stood up quickly. Hello, sir, how can I help you? One of them asked immediately. I'm here to participate in the blind date show today. My last name is Chi. Chi Fong smiled slightly. There was nothing wrong with chatting and gossiping during work hours, but it was not good if it affected work. Mr. Chi, hello, this way please. Another receptionist came out. Okay. Chi Fong followed the receptionist to a lounge. Mr. Chi, please rest here for a while. When the program starts recording, a staff member will come to call you. Good. The receptionist poured Chi Fong a glass of water and then left the lounge. Chi Fong glanced at the time. It was 9:30 and the recording of the program would start at 10 o'clock. Although Chi Fong didn't understand the recording process, there was only a short time left. Logically, he should have started putting on makeup and auditioning. But the other party actually let him rest here. He took out his cell phone and was about to ask Chen Chen what was going on when a beautiful figure walked into the lounge. It was Chen Chen. "Mr. Chi, I'm sorry. Since we can't contact Zhang Yuqi right now, her agent has already driven to her house. The recording of the show may be delayed," Chen Chen said apologetically. "What happened?" Chi Feng frowned. "This is his own emotional value. Probably, maybe I just didn't get up," Chen Chen said very embarrassedly. Chi Feng couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. "Wow. That's the attitude towards work, right? Send all of Zhang Yuqi's reports to my phone, including her business capabilities and revenue-generating capabilities." Chi Feng was originally planning to make a small profit from the emotional value, but if the employee with such a work attitude does not have the ability to make money, Chi Feng does not mind making a lot of emotional value and then firing him. "Okay, Mr. Chi, I'll sort it out and send it to your phone right away." Of course Chen Chen knew that Chi Feng was angry, so she lowered her head and left the lounge. Soon, Chi Feng received all the information about Zhang Yuqi. After reading it, Chi Feng felt that this could be discarded. Because apart from her seniority and the fact that she has a group of self-proclaimed independent little fairy fans online, Zhang Yuqi is no longer liked by most passers-by. To put it simply, it has lost its popularity and has been living off its past achievements. However, the income that this capital brings to the company is now very limited. What really makes the company money now is those small idol training groups. So it doesn't really matter if Zhang Yuqi is fired. As for whether liquidated damages would be paid, Chen Chen also considerately attached a statement from the company's legal department. The other party had already violated many of the company's treaties, and had kept her until now because they thought she was still worth exploiting. In that case, Chi Feng felt relieved. I looked at the time again, it was already 10:30. It had been an hour since he finished reading the long report, but the other party had not arrived yet. This is really a big brand. After waiting for a while, it was almost 11 o'clock before a staff member came to ask Chi Feng to change his clothes and put on makeup. But Chi Feng himself is quite handsome, with messy hair and a clean and handsome look. Otherwise, those women might turn around and leave the moment they see Chi Feng. I didn't put on any makeup and went straight to the studio. Because it was a temporary show, the studio was simply decorated with a simple background, 2 chairs, and a table with some snacks on it. After Chi Feng took his seat, Zhang Yuqi still did not show up for a long time. If it wasn't for the purpose of earning emotional points, Chi Feng really wanted to fire her directly. "Why are you urging me? He's just an ordinary man. It's his accumulated blessing to be able to go on a blind date with me on a show. What's wrong with asking him to wait a little longer?" Suddenly, a woman's voice sounded, full of contempt. Chi Feng frowned, looked in the direction of the sound, and finally saw the woman he had been thinking about. Zhang Yuqi was wearing a bright red leather coat. She had a strong aura and a very majestic face. Having said that, it is still worth 83 points. But Chi Feng would not fall for this temptation, as he had seen many beautiful women. And Ji was enough to kill her instantly. After seeing Chi Feng, the dissatisfaction on Zhang Yuqi's face subsided a little. The company was pretty good and found her a young and handsome man. She originally thought he would be a middle-aged man in his 40s. "Okay, Sister Yuqi is here, everyone get ready to start the machine," the director shouted, and everyone started to get busy. Chen Chen was there too, but she was observing quietly in a corner. Although she was confused as to why Chi Feng wanted to arrange such a program, the idea was acceptable. There are many such blind date shows on the internet now, and the traffic is quite high. "Hello, I think you know me, so I won't introduce myself. This blind date is just an act, so just come normally. But don't take it seriously, because it's impossible for us to be together." Zhang Yuqi sat opposite Chi Feng with a proud look on her face. "Okay, Miss Zhang Yuqi, my name is Chi Feng." Chi Feng smiled and nodded. It was indeed impossible. The show begins. Zhang Yuqi's appearance changed instantly. The annoying arrogance on her face disappeared instantly, and was replaced by an ordinary and generous look. Just like an ordinary strong woman. Chi Feng raised his eyebrows. He is indeed an actor. It turns out that characters are all created. Chi Feng said directly. "Ms. Zhang, what do you want from your significant other?" Zhang Yuqi raised her lips and smiled as she said, "Although I am a star, my requirements for marriage are actually no different from those of other ordinary girls. A house and a car are must-haves. The car can be a little ordinary, but the house must be big, preferably a villa. Since I like fitness and swimming, it would be best if the room has a gym and a swimming pool. Of course, I hope he can have a stable income, about 10 million a year. Of course, these conditions are all proposed on my own basis, because my ability to make money is not bad. As for the bride price, I don't need it because I have always been an independent woman and I believe that women should marry for love. Mr. Chi, you can make your request now. Bite. Goal requirement success. Chapter 25, you can't withstand this punch. Bite. Goal requirement success. A villa in the Chinyar Wending Villa area in Shanghai City, the required emotion value for redemption is 250,000 points. 1% of DD Chuxing shares, required sentiment value to redeem, 150,000 points. A Honda Accord, the required emotional value for redemption is 2,000 points. Note, when there are repeated unredeemed requirements of the same type, only one can be stored. Please select it in time, otherwise the system will automatically replace it with a requirement of lower value. Chi Feng didn't hesitate and directly cancelled the Honda Accord. Although it is a car with a good reputation, its price is far different from that of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class. The first two new requirements are pretty good. Chi Feng also knew about the villa area of Chinyar Wending. In a second-tier city like Shanghai City, there are not many villa areas. If Vanks, Dragon Rising and Tide Roaring is a symbol of a man's success, then the end of the world is a symbol of a man's peak. The cheapest villa there costs 20 to 30 million yuan. It was probably the conditions proposed by Zhang Yuqi that caused the system to automatically determine the villa there. However, Chi Feng is not planning to exchange it for the time being. Because he hasn't even gotten used to their house yet. Well, there are too many houses. There is simply no way to live in it all. In fact, what surprised Chi Feng the most was the 1% stake in DD Chuxing, which is something more valuable than a villa. For 1% of the shares, the annual dividend is only about 10 million, but you don't have to do anything and can make money just by lying down. This is exactly what Chi Feng needs. Chi Feng did not hesitate and exchanged it directly. He now has 290,000 emotional points, which is enough. Bite. Host exchange is successful. Congratulations on obtaining 1% of DD Chuxing shares. Equity certificates are being distributed. Chi Feng nodded with satisfaction, and then began to answer Zhang Yuqi's questions. I don't really have any requests, because I'm planning to marry into the family. Emotional value plus 4,000. Zhang Yuqi was stunned for a moment and it took her a long time to recover. What did you say? I said I'm going to marry into your family. Is that not possible? Chi Feng raised the corner of his mouth. When it comes to a woman with such a strong personality, you have to do things unconventionally. No, you are not kidding, you said you want to marry into their wife's family. You are a grown man with hands and feet, you want to marry into their wife's family. Zhang Yuqi was stunned. She had been boxing for so many years, but this was the first time she heard a man say such words. I can't meet any of your requirements. If I don't marry into your family, what can I do? Chi Feng spread his hands. And didn't you say that you have a strong ability to make money? It's enough for you to support me. Emotional value plus 4,000. Har har, you really are a dreamer. If not, why should I support you? Zhang Yuqi was amused. This man was really a weirdo. Then why can you girls feel comfortable saying that you want to be supported by men? Because they are all dependent women, not me. I didn't ask you to support me. Zhang Yuqi said disdainfully. She has been practicing boxing for so long that she can easily resolve such simple moves. So what do you mean by independence? Of course, I don't want to be a vassal of you men. Women can also hold up half the sky of marriage. Very good, why half the sky? Because you men are responsible for the other half. You can't call this independence, then. We men all support a family on our own. No matter how difficult it is, we just swallow the hardship. How come for you, independence can only support half the sky? Chi Feng smiled faintly, his tone calm and unhurried. Emotional value plus 10,000. Zhang Yuqi's face darkened slightly. She felt the pressure. The other party was also an old boxer. That's why you men treat us women as your vassals. You don't respect us at all and look down on us. Those are the bad men who don't respect women, not me. I don't disrespect you, so I marry into your family. Why do you laugh at me? Chi Feng looked straight at Zhang Yuqi with sharp eyes. Emotional value plus 12,000. Zhang Yuqi frowned. She had just said these words to refute Chi Feng, but now she was blocked by herself. What I am laughing at is not your marriage into the wife's family, but your idea of living off a gigolo. I didn't say I didn't work hard. After we get married, I can take care of all their housework. I can also cook. If the child is born, he will have your surname. I will also be responsible for the child's studies after birth. I will make sure that I serve you comfortably. Is this called living off you? Chi Feng was also experienced and expected Zhang Yuqi to say this. Of course this isn't called living off a gigolo, but I can hire a nanny to do these jobs, so why would I want you to marry into my family? Chi Feng smiled contemptuously and shook his head. You said you wanted to marry for love, and I'll say the same thing to you. Then we boys can also hire a nanny. Why should we marry you girls? And spend money and energy to marry you, including a house, a car, and a dowry. Because we boys want to give you girls a home and a guarantee. This is what we call love. You're one, I love your mother selling twisted love. Emotional value plus 30,000. Emotional value plus 30,000. Zhang Yuqi's face flushed, her eyes widened, and her breathing became rapid. But there are also many men who don't do it for love, they just want to marry someone who can have children, and they have no respect for us women at all. Chi Feng nodded calmly. Yes, I admit it, but that wasn't me. I was married into the family, so what right do you have to laugh at me for being married into the family? You are the only one who claims to be independent. On the one hand, you claim to be independent, but on the other hand, you must demand that the boy be as rich as you. When we boys get married, we don't ask for as much as you do. Moreover, women's independence has always referred to independence of thought, the ability to make their own judgments and decisions, rather than simply referring to economics. This can be achieved as long as there is mutual respect. There are also many men who are not respected, just like you just laughed at me for marrying into a family. Why do you laugh at me for marrying into a family? We men are laughed at by you women because we don't have a house or a car. They say we have no money yet we dare to come for blind dates and get married. Has anyone ever spoken up for us men? What have we done wrong? Chi Feng's voice was cold, and every word he said was like a hammer, hitting Zhang Yuqi's heart. And the independence you're talking about is just maintaining independence in your own interests. It's basically just a cover for misogyny. And there has never been any difference between respecting men and respecting women. What we need to do is respect people, respect those who deserve respect. Emotional value plus 40,000. Emotional value plus 40,000. Emotional value plus 40,000. Zhang Yuqi felt as if there was 1,000 pounds of weight on his chest, as if someone had hit him hard with a sledgehammer. My brain is dizzy. This man has profound skills, and she can't resist him. The last sentence completely opens up the scope and is no longer limited to gender. She was defeated by this punch. Chapter 26. Who the hell invited this emperor? Director, cut, who invited these extras? I want to replace them, or I won't continue filming. But Zhang Yuqi is not without a solution. If she can't win, she can just change people. Anyway, this is my home ground. If you want to change someone, just change them. But no one responded to her. Everyone in the studio was still shocked by Chi Feng's words. Zhang Yuqi relied on her seniority and was used to bullying others in the company. Except for her boss, no one dared to treat her like that. What? Want to run away? It's like you think that 600 yuan is not enough to buy a pair of socks. You have never really spoken about women's independence from the perspective of women who are suffering. The women's independence you promote online is just marketing for yourself. Emotional value plus 40,000. Emotional value plus 40,000. You're talking nonsense. I'm really speaking out for women's rights. Director, what are you doing? Get this guy out of here. Zhang Yuqi no longer dared to look Chi Feng in the eye. He seemed to see through everything about himself. Oh, okay. The director finally came to his senses and was about to ask people to go up. Let's see who dares to chase us away. Suddenly, a sweet but loud voice sounded in the studio. Secretary Qian. Everyone looked back in surprise, not understanding why Secretary Qian stood up at this time. Secretary Qian, you want to take care of this matter too. Don't think that you are the boss just because the new chairman of the company hasn't arrived yet. Zhang Yuqi looked unhappy. This woman always ruined her plans in the company. Mr. Qi. Chen Qian did not rush to retort to Zhang Yuqi, but looked at Qi Feng. Qi Feng nodded. Zhang Yuqi had already decided to retreat. It was time to harvest the second wave of emotions. Why are you looking at this stinky man? I'm asking you a question. Zhang Yuqi's face was full of displeasure. Zhang Yuqi, pay attention to your own qualities. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you've been in the company for a long time. He is our new chairman, Mr. Qi Feng, President Qi. After getting Qi Feng's instructions, Chen Qian no longer had any worries. The studio was suddenly silent, and you could hear a pin drop. Everyone looked at the smiling man in surprise. This is their new chairman. Stayed under their noses for so long. Such a young man? This is even more shocking than what Qi Feng said just now. Zhang Yuqi even covered her mouth, unable to believe her ears. His two already big eyes were opened so wide that they were almost bulging out. Emotional value plus 40,000. Emotional value plus 50,000. She deliberately finished her work ahead of schedule just to come back and please the new chairman. As a result, I had a quarrel with him, and the key point is that I didn't win the quarrel. Oh my god. What do I do? This is the only sentence left in Zhang Yuqi's mind. No, you are lying. How could he be the new chairman? He is so young? Zhang Yuqi didn't believe it and thought that Chen Qian must be lying. I originally thought you were just a little bit dumb, but I didn't expect you to be stupid now. How do you think I could possibly lie to people about something like this? And if Mr. Qi Feng wasn't the chairman, how could there be this program all of a sudden, and Mr. Qi Feng happened to participate? Chen Qian said with disdain, in fact, if you just use your brain to think about it, you will understand that there must be a clue. And she didn't have a good impression of Zhang Yuqi. Whenever this guy was free, she would come to the office to find the former chairman. You? Zhang Yuqi was very angry, but there was nothing she could do as what the other party said made sense. Qi Feng glanced at everyone in the studio and knew it was time for him to speak. I took a look at the company this morning and it's generally good, but some of the employees are not very dedicated and have some problems with their professional ethics. I will now announce the punishment for individual employees. Ms. Zhang Yuqi. Zhang Yuqi's heart skipped a beat when he heard this. He felt like Qi Feng was calling his name. I have just examined you and found you to be seriously unqualified. I am expelling you now. It just so happens that you have completed the work at hand. Qi Feng said lightly. Emotional value plus 50,000. No, Mr. Qi, you can't fire me. I am a veteran artist of the company. If you fire me, it will have a very serious impact on the company. Zhang Yuqi opened his mouth wide, unable to believe it. She thought the company would just fine her a little, but she was fired directly. You take yourself too seriously. The company's current operating conditions mean that you are no longer needed. Moreover, firing you will improve the company's reputation. Qi Feng shook his head. Since this company belonged to him, he would not tolerate such artists in his company. Although it is just black material now and he has not become a bad artist, if he does something out of line or says something outrageous one day, it will cause great losses to the company. So it's better to throw this time bomb away. You can't make any money anyway. Emotional value plus 30,000. Boss Qi, no, this can't happen. I've made so much money for the company, you can't fire me. Zhang Yuqi shook her head frantically. Her acting career was already on the decline. If she left here, no one knew if there would be any company that would want her. You didn't give me any of the money you made. You gave it all to your former chairman, so what does it have to do with me? Qi Feng shook his shoulders. Now the company hasn't brought him any profit yet, so it's useless to use this to kidnap him. Emotional value plus 10,000. Zhang Yuqi looked constipated. Yes, Qi Feng was the new boss and had no feelings for her. But suddenly, her eyes became fierce. Let me open it. I don't believe that no company will want me. You can regret it later. After saying that, he immediately walked straight out of the studio. Qi Feng looked at Zhang Yuqi's back and felt a little regretful that his share certificate had not been delivered yet. But it doesn't matter. My identity has been exposed and I have earned some emotional points. Anyway, it's been squeezed almost enough. Secretary Chen, I'll leave her resignation to you. I'll go to the office to take a rest, and then I'll have a meeting on time at 2 p.m. Okay, Mr. Chi, thank you for your hard work. Chen Chen nodded, and then said, Director Chi, do we need to put the recorded program online? I won't use it for now, I'll save it for now. Chi Feng shook his head. He didn't want to be so ostentatious right now. A tree that stands out in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. He still understands this simple truth. Moreover, his current strength is not strong enough to withstand the siege of fairies from all over the country. It is safer to go on blind dates secretly and earn emotional points secretly. Okay, Mr. Chi, I'll take you to the office first. Chi Feng then followed Chen Chen to the office. Chi Feng sat in the boss chair, looking at the exquisitely decorated space in front of him, feeling a little dazed. He really became the chairman of a company. This is something I never dared to think about before. However, Chi Feng did not feel emotional for long, because the emotional value he earned today was not a small amount. System, check the remaining emotion value. Chapter 27. I hope the teacher is in good health and free from all diseases. Byte. The basic information of the host is as follows: Happy Smiley. Name, Chi Feng. Gender, male. Special skills, world-class painting master. Remaining emotion value, 610,990. Unredeemed rewards. Happy Smiley. The position of business manager of Haidar Sales Company requires 3,000 points of emotional value. A Mercedes-Benz S-Class worth 1.3 million, 12,000 points. A villa in the Chinyar Wending Villa area in Shanghai City, the required emotion value for redemption is 250,000 points. Now there are 610,000 emotion points left, originally 290,000, and then I exchanged it for 1% of DD Chuxing S shares, minus 150,000. So Zhang Yuqi earned a total of 470,000 emotional points for herself. Chi Feng couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. This woman has made a great contribution. Although you are no longer in the company will remember your contribution. Because the program was recorded very late. After lunch and a short rest at noon, the company meeting was held. It didn't end until 5 in the afternoon. However, Chi Feng also understood the general situation of the company, because the positions of CEO and president were originally set up. Therefore, the chairman does not have much work to do and he does not need to come to the company all the time. This made Chi Feng feel relieved. He didn't want to be the chairman and have to go to work on time every day. That's too much torture. He also put forward his opinions during the meeting. It means giving the artists below more lessons, reducing some unnecessary online photo shoots and group variety shows, and turning them into training in singing and dancing. Although he is pursuing the idol route, Chi Feng feels that strength is more important. This is the only way to make the company go further in the long run. And the most important rule was that all illegal and disorderly activities must not be done. We also have to take character education classes every week. The artist's quality and character must also be put first. This is to prepare for future house collapse. Although this will make the artists very tired, what industry or profession is not tiring? In the celebrity industry, the income is far greater than the effort. What's wrong with being a little tired? It's not like I don't give them money. After Chi Feng had dinner, so he went to Njiyu's home and taught her how to paint. Earn some emotional points at the same time. And he could see if he could get Njiyu to make some requests of him. After all, Chi Feng was not very interested in the current system storage requirements. Jiyu, do you think there is anything I haven't done well, teacher? No, sir. Then do you think there is anything that needs improvement for me as a teacher? No, sir. Then do you have any other requirements for your teacher? It's okay, teacher, you are very good to me. Chi Feng. Could you please not be so selfless? You're making it very difficult for me. Chi Feng looked at Njiyu, who was concentrating on painting, and sighed. Jiyu, if you don't have any requirements, it will be difficult for your teacher. If you don't have any requirements, I will not be able to motivate you. Njiyu was slightly stunned, put down the paintbrush, and looked at Chi Feng with a pair of clear eyes. Teacher, why do you have to motivate me with your demands? Chi Feng. Rotten wood cannot be carved. Chi Feng forced a smile, because it can motivate me to improve, so that I can teach you better. But your painting skills are already world-class. The art world is spreading your news, and your painting videos are spreading like wildfire in the art world. And Jiyu couldn't help but feel a little excited when he said this. Because such a person is actually my teacher. Emotional value plus 10,000. Chi Feng raised his eyebrows, he didn't expect that he would become famous. Let me see what they said. Yes, teacher. And Jiyu took out his cell phone and opened an art forum. The first featured post at the top is a video of Chi Feng drawing. Chi Feng clicked it and turned to the comments below. Oh my god, are my eyes blurry? Is this really a skill that a human can possess? This skill should only exist in heaven, how often can we hear of it in the world? Didn't anyone notice that the model is super gorgeous? The one above is vulgar, this is more than super beautiful. You are all vulgar. Are you the only one who wants to know the identity of this young man? I heard his surname is Chi. Could he be the great-grandson or great-great-grandson of Mr. Chi Baisha? Fuck, don't tell me, this is very possible. Yes, otherwise it would be impossible for such a great art master to suddenly appear out of nowhere. The more Chi Feng looked at it, the more puzzled he felt. Why were they starting to discuss his own identity? The problem is that I am really not a junior of Mr. Chi Baisha. Jiyu, can you help me post a message to clarify this? It's not good for misunderstandings to continue like this. Senior Chi Baisha has passed away, and we, as his juniors, should not disturb his peace. Chi Feng said with a slight smile. Okay, teacher, but they may not believe what I say. And Jiyu nodded. Then you can publish it under the identity of my student, and you can use the painting as evidence. Chi Feng thought about it and decided that he didn't want to enter this circle for the time being. After all, how could an art master go on blind dates every day? If I get discovered, will I still be able to maintain my reputation? Just let Jiyu be your bridge. Yes, teacher. And Jiyu was a little excited. Because this would reveal her identity to the public. As Chi Feng's student, her fame will surely rise rapidly in the art world. But what excited her was not this, but the pride of being Chi Feng's student. Emotional value plus 20,000. Chi Feng looked at Jiyu who was typing on the phone, with a slight smile on his face. It seemed that this girl wasn't so cold after all. Her mood swings were quite frequent, weren't they? Wrong. Didn't I want Jiyu to make a request? I almost forgot about this. Okay, teacher, the post has been sent out. I don't have many fans, so I may need to wait a while. It's okay, let's continue. Tell me what you want from me, your teacher. Chi Feng said with anticipation. And Jiyu frowned slightly, and finally said after a moment of hesitation, then I hope that you, teacher, can be healthy and free from all diseases, and leave more treasures for this world. Chi Feng's pupils suddenly shrank. Good job. You haven't said anything for a long time, but now you say something big, right? Bite. Goal requires success. Immune to all diseases, the emotional value required for redemption is fixed to half of the host's current value. Note, such requirements are all included in the special skills category. The sound of the system made Chi Feng's body tremble. Sure enough, as long as it is a clear request, the system can detect it. My apprentice gave me such a big surprise. Immunity to all diseases, although this term is somewhat general and has no definite division. But for minor illnesses like colds and fevers, there is definitely no problem at all. After all, no one doesn't like to be healthy. This is definitely a magical skill. He is really a good disciple of mine. The look Chi Feng gave Jiyu became even more hot. Without hesitation, Chi Feng exchanged it directly. Because the special skill is fixed at half of the current emotional value, even if he spends all the emotional value until only 1 point is left, it will still cost 305,000 emotional points. It's a pity that the system bug cannot be corrected. Chi Feng felt extremely comfortable as he felt waves of coolness coming from his body. It feels as if every cell in my body is nourished. Cool.